Hey all, J-Man here. I just want to tell you about beardedshirts.com. It's a great place to get a lot of cool superhero shirts and other merchandise. You can scroll, they've always got sales on. As you can see, they've got these really cool print all over shirts, which I really love. That's Eddie, the founder of the site. And if you're looking for stuff, all you got to do is you click on the search here and you can type in all over. And that's going to show you the all over prints, which are really, really cool. Look at that. You got Legion of Superheroes, you got Brave and the Bold, you got JSA, you got Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, all kinds of stuff. So check out beardedshirts.com. Hey guys, J-Man here. Welcome to a special Friday episode. We're starting Avengers next week, but right now, tonight, we're taking a look at the Ewok live-action movies, which I saw as a kid and thought they were really cool. So we're going to talk today a little bit about the Ewoks films themselves, our sort of relationship with those movies, what we think of the Ewoks, and we're also going to do a space versus, so I'll explain how that works. When I first thought of this, I didn't know if there was going to be a clear, better movie. I actually think that there's one of the movies has something clearer than the other. So it's not as I think I know which one's going to kind of win, but I don't think it's a clean sweep, at least not for me. So we'll see how it plays out, but we're not going to just do that. We're going to talk about just the Ewok movies in general. Okay. So let's talk about what is going on the remainder of the week though. This Monday, Karate Kid. So Karate Kid was going to be one stream. Then I started to read it and realized it was friggin' awesome. So we're separating it into 3 streams. So we already did some of Karate Kid. So this Monday, we're doing the next Karate Kid part, which is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 6 through 10 will be this Monday for the Legion live stream. And of course, the Monday after that, we will finish up Karate Kid and do Commandy. But this Tuesday, Transformers Super God Master Force. Jinrai is here. Now, Jinrai is really what you guys would have called Optimus Prime Power Master. So Power Master Optimus Prime, that's a character. He's actually not Optimus Prime in the cartoon. He's Jinrai is how they pronounce it in the cartoon, or Jinrai, Ginrai. So we're going to talk about that on Tuesday, plus cover 10 episodes of Super God Master Force. That's going to be on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'm going to be on my good friend's channel, The Action Elite. We're going to be talking about one of kind of, no, I don't want to say a guilty. When you say guilty pleasure, it sounds like the movie's bad and you're apologizing for it. But I genuinely like this movie. It's called Tango and Cash. It's got 2 unknown actors that never went anywhere in their careers. So it was a good movie. It was a good one-off movie. And then unfortunately, those guys kind of died. I'd love to see a sequel. Actually, no, joking aside, I'd love to see a sequel. Gran Torino, Tango and Cash. Oh my God, that'd be awesome. So that's going to be on the Action Elite. So make sure you check out Action Elite and you're subscribed to them. The link is in the description of this video, plus all my other videos. On Friday, it's Earth's Mightiest Fridays. We're going to be talking about the first 4 issues of the Avengers. This team didn't go anywhere either, unfortunately. There's not very many issues of Avengers. There was 0 films. I wish they'd make some live action films of the Avengers. I know for sure the first 2, well, the first one would be really good. The second one would probably be good for some people, but some people might not like the second one. But then the third one would be really good. I just have a premonition. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the comics, of course, that started all of this hype. That's going to be fun. And Classic Comics is going to join me, I believe, on Earth's Mightiest Friday, at least for this first episode on Friday. So there you go. Okay. Let's thank the Legionnaires. These are the channel members who I thank on every stream. Thank you guys so much for being members. I appreciate it. Of course, there's Dan, Sean, Stephen, Brennan, Mark D with a C, RR, who's already in the chat. Thanks, buddy. Philip Story, thanks for all your comments on all my videos, man. SVon82, that's Scotty, who's going to join me on a Dazzler stream coming up in the near future. Digger Jim, Mark from Legion of Comics, and Quagnar. Now, we always thank our lifelong good friend Clobberin Times. He's a Legionnaire forever. Mike Alonzo. He didn't like the Ewoks, but we're going to let it pass on this one. We're gonna let it pass. If he was here, he would definitely come on and make fun of us for liking the Ewoks. That's okay. We would just make fun of him back for not liking the Ewoks. That's it. It goes both ways, right? But we do still thank him because he is a good friend of ours, and we miss him tremendously. And he was great guy. So check out his channel. It is archived, so it is in the link to. The link to his channel is in this video plus all my other videos. I have wrapped up my Blake 7 reviews, daily reviews of Blake 7, and I'm on to The Prisoner. So I just uploaded Prisoner episode 1 Arrival. You're not going to see it for about 20 something days because you're getting one a video a day. It's going to be great going through The Prisoner. So I'm really looking forward to going through all those. And yeah, Blake 7, crazy. I would like to remind everybody, if you have not actually seen Blake 7, this is crazy. No YouTuber is ever going to say this, but don't watch my videos on Blake 7 if you have not seen Blake 7, just on the off chance that you might see Blake 7. And when people are talking spoilers, like, it's not like it's inconceivable. If I told you all the spoilers for Blake 7, you wouldn't believe me. You'd be like, that's impossible. All of that can't happen in one show, but it literally does. So do not watch them. Of course, if you have seen Blake 7, then please watch them and share them because we need more people to know about Blake 7. Let's bring in, I got a couple of guests waiting backstage, and we got a couple of more. Sean's going to be late. So we're going to make fun of him big time before he gets here. He told me he's going to be about 20 minutes late or so. So we've got about 20 minutes to make fun of Sean as much as possible. So we're going to try our best to get in as much digs as we can. But I do have my WWE regular buddy here waiting backstage. So let's bring him in.
Heidi ho.
All right, are we ready to do some Ewoks?
Yeah, we are.
All right,
we're ready for Ewoks, man.
All right, we're gonna it's gonna happen. All right, and of course we have a regular on the Action Elite, which is every Wednesday, of course. He has his own website for action movies. It's called actionflix.com. The link is in the description of this video. Plus, I just threw it up in the chat. So make sure you guys are onto that website. It's awesome. And of course, this is John from Action Flix.
Hello. I broke out my artwork.
Like,
nice. Yes. Yeah. Well, I have a few Star Wars shirts.
I don't have anything with Ewoks on it. I apologize. It's
I don't have an Ewok shirt. I have I have lots of like little Ewok toys around, but I didn't want to feel like getting all of them. Let's say hello to our friends in the chat who have been waiting patiently for me. And FK buddy, you're the man, buddy. Shout out. No, it's not 7 a.m. Stop it. I thank you. So now we're at the point now where my subscribers are just managing the channel for me. Like, I don't even, and FK, your volunteer money is in the mail. Your volunteer bucks.
Yeah.
Do it. See, you may get some early bird,
Thank you, our Legionnaire buddy. Thank you so much for coming in. Who knew that these films, which were pretty crappy, would still be the best Star Wars content made? Well, actually, we're going to put that to the test because all week I've been doing some calculations. I've been doing some mathematical equations and calculations, and I'm going to reveal the result of those equations tonight. And that's going to be revealed tonight, guys. So make sure you stay for the whole stream. FK, thank you, my friend. Canada's on the same. We're in the same world as you. Mark is here from Legion of Comics. Mark, buddy, if you want to come in, I sent you the link. If you don't want to come in, that's fine. We don't need you. We don't want you here. But if you do want to come in, then we'd love to have you. This is so easy. Of course, Legionnaire Mark. Guys, make sure you subscribe to Legion of Comics. The link is in the description of this video, plus all my other videos. He's got awesome content and really sick giveaways. And I'm never going to give away as many cool things as he does. Skeptic is here. They're better than Disney. We're going to find out tonight live. I have done the mathematical calculations. I've calculated hours, budgets, everything. I'm going to give you the exact percentages a little bit later. You got a G1 Grimlock? I had one as a kid. Live action films for Avengers? Yeah, it's not happening.
No.
E-Bud, buddy, yes, thank you so much for coming here. CT, yeah, you guys can throw a CT in the chat for our good friend Clobberin Time just because we miss him a lot. He didn't like the Ewoks, but we're giving him a pass tonight. You have to wait 20 days for the prisoner. Yes, you're gonna have to wait for the prisoner. But it's great. I'm gonna be getting through the wiki. Hello, Wookie bitches. Yes, okay. Steven is here. Yes. Skeptic is Steven's like big fan here.
No, I don't.
Steven does not have it.
So it's actually a funny story. I have my godfather is from Grenada, and one Christmas, so Grenada is not a very, very prosperous island. Who would have thought?
Okay.
And they weren't going to get anything for Christmas. A lot of kids weren't getting anything for Christmas. I had all my Transformers and my G.I. Joes and that, and I wasn't really doing anything with them. They were sitting in the closet. So I gave them all to my godfather to give out to all the kids in Grenada.
Well, and they sold them all on eBay
Probably.
for thousands of dollars.
Keep in mind, this was 90, or in the early 90s, so no eBay, no internet. So
were they in the packaging?
No.
Oh, brutal.
They were loose.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Listen, just because they're poor kids and have no gifts doesn't mean they don't want it in the packaging for future use.
They were thinking of the future collector's market.
They're thinking of the collector's market. Wow, Omega Supreme is a complete in the packaging. No, I don't want this.
Yeah, I know.
Legionnaire Quagnar is here, buddy. Thank you so much for coming. Stephen is a saint. Saint Stephen. Oh my God. The school, there's a Catholic school next to the public school that I went to, and it was called St. Stephen's. Maybe Stephen was, It's at 4 a.m. He didn't message me, buddy. Come on. I can't wait. I'm not awake at 4 a.m. for Christ's sakes. Okay, if you see a weird time, just message me, man. Like, I just.
Unless you're actually doing it.
No, I'm not.
I was going to say, you see how many people show up. See
if anyone shows up for 4
a.m. You get the urge to talk about the Ewoks. Hey,
listen, there's a lot of people up at that time. Come back, people work overnight.
Right.
You could corner to that market. You never know.
J-Man, you did used to work nights. I remember.
I did. I used to work till 2 a.m, 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. So yeah, that was kind of crappy. Maybe I should have had a forest background. I didn't know what background. Normally, I had my Fortress of Solitude background. And nothing really fits. I'll put my Fortress back. I had He-Man because I thought at least it's fantasy, but I'll put Fortress back. That's my not doing anything. You would show up at 4 a.m. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that, buddy.
I just woke up 2 hours ago. So
I just got home from work.
Well, we're a bit late. Star Wars Marvel Purist is also going to be coming in tonight as well. So before we officially start up any kind of versus talk, let's just we can just talk general Ewoks stuff now. John, did you see? Okay, I only saw Return of the Jedi in the theater. Did either one of you see? Did you see any of the other Star Wars movies or no?
No, I saw Jedi was my first one.
So, John, what about you? I think that you said that you had seen the two.
I was there opening weekend on Star Wars.
On Star Wars 1. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna ask you to talk first. Oh, hold on a second. Ours already given a super chat, buddy. Thank you so much. Can't join you. Yes, I'm out. For the wife, you voted 5 out of 5 because compared to the 21st century, except Endor. These are gold. Thank you. Well, I appreciate the $5. I'm gonna give you an Ewok. I only got one Ewok GIF. I'll give you this one of him.
Yeah.
Nailing himself. And for the super chat, I'll also give you Sybil Danning revealing herself. Not fully though.
No,
we got to keep it.
YouTube would be mad.
YouTube would be mad. Okay, so let's start off. Let's start off with John because two questions. A, what do you think of the Ewoks, but not like in Jedi, not the movies. And then number 2, were you disappointed when it was the Ewoks? Because sort of the rumors at the time that I remember people talking about, because I don't remember these rumors, I wouldn't have been old enough to really know about them, was that it was going to be the Wookiee planet. It was supposed to be Chewbacca's people who were going to help in fighting off those the Imperials, and then it ended up being the Ewoks, because my buddy Clobberin times was he's a bit older than, well, he's older than us, and he was really upset. He thought he was going to see the Wookiees, and instead he got these little teddy bear creatures, and he was just like, well, this sucks. So he was disappointed. So question 1, did you know about the Wookiee thing? And then question 2, if yes, were you disappointed? If no, did you like the Ewoks? Go.
I did know about the Wookiee thing, and I was super excited when I thought that George Lucas was actually going to, because Chewbacca was always Chewbacca's a favorite to everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, and I love Chewbacca. I love the whole Han Solo Chewbacca, chemistry, and then the Ewoks. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a fan of the Ewoks at first. When I first saw Return of the Jedi opening weekend, I was like, and I'd seen the previews and stuff like that. I was like, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate them, but they've grown on me over time. And they were cute, they were cuddly, they were funny. They had their moments and stuff like that. At first I was so mad about about the Wookiee thing that I didn't let it it didn't let me enjoy the Ewoks when I first saw them show up in Return of the Jedi. I have to admit. Yep.
Yeah. So when now when you saw the so in the okay, see, I gotta say this because Sean and I have talked about this before, and Steve and I have somewhat discussed these things where it's like there's a lot of people going back and saying, well, yeah, Jedi, there's these issues in it. All I remember was everybody my age, we came out of Jedi. We're like, this is the greatest movie we've ever seen. Like, high-fiving. Yeah. I went immediately to this. It was actually the Sears warehouse. And immediately the next day, my grandfather took me. I bought whatever I got. I ended up getting Bib Fortuna. I ended up getting, I think, a Scout Trooper. I ended up getting Chief Chirpa. I ended up getting, who else did I get? Like, I was just like, I need to buy every possible Star Wars figure that is available at that time. And I still have those, my childhood ones. So I was like, hell yes. So John, were you like, did that disappoint? Be like, oh, this wasn't as good as Empire, or what were you thinking? Do you remember?
No, I mean, listen, everybody says Empire is the golden staple of the original trilogy, which it has every right to be. I mean, it's just so. I mean, how he went dark with it and like the ending alone. I mean, obviously you knew that wasn't the ending, but to end a movie like that, you were like, holy cow. No, I loved Return of the Jedi when I first saw it. I mean, was I mad about the Wookiee thing? Yeah. And I was like, I got over the Ewoks. I was like, yeah, they're fine. I'm like, they served their purpose. And, I could see like what George Lucas was going for and everything. And yeah, I mean, I personally, like, if I'm going to like Empire Strikes Back, I mean, well, Star Wars, like, what do you say? Like, Star Wars was the first one. It was the first one I remember, like, as that 4-year-old. So, but I love Revenge of the Jedi. Yeah. I remember that too. I remember seeing the poster. I was like, ooh, and then he changed it. I was like, cop out. But anyways, I am a big fan of Return of the Jedi. What the ending was a little hokey, like when they're like all dancing and celebrating with the Ewoks and everything. It was a little cheesy. Just if I have to be honest. But in terms, I mean, his Luke's battle with Darth Vader in that one. I mean, the one in Empire Strikes Back was cool, but this one was just like epic, and you had the Emperor, and just to see like when Darth Vader picks up the Emperor and everything, that's a cool moment. I think. I think that's such a stellar, that's an iconic moment, and then he finally takes his helmet off, and there's just a lot to love about Return of the Jedi. I think it gets a bad rap. Like somebody called it Star Wars with Muppets. I forget who said that, but yes, I remember hearing that one time, and I was like, no, it's like there's so much more to it. Now the Ewoks are a big part of the last act, but in other words, it's. The whole trilogy as a whole, the original trilogy, there's so much to celebrate with it, and there's just so much to love about it. You got Dark Empire, you got the original Star Wars, which introduced everything. Then you had the Dark Empire, and then you had Return of the Jedi, which folded up everything, awesome and everything. Now let me ask you this though, like, what'd you think about when George Lucas went back and redid the original?
Well, I despised all the changes.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Very much.
I can see like him tweaking some of the special effects because George Lucas is one of those guys is like he's not satisfied with something and what he had at the time, and I can see what he was going for, but he just went over the rails and
like I don't need 17 banthas and whatever like all that. Okay, Jedi. The remade the special edition Jedi literally broke my face. I was like, what is this garbage? I'll talk about my thing. Steve, I want to let Steve go. So, okay. So Steve, you saw Jedi first in the theater. That was the first time you saw any Star Wars in the theater. Did you know about the Wookiee thing or no? I didn't know. Okay, so we didn't know. Okay, perfect. So you didn't know. So Jedi, what'd you think of the Ewoks in the movie then? Did you think it was like...
I loved Jedi. It's still my favorite. It's not the best, but it's my favorite Star Wars movie.
That's a fair statement.
And
because you could say anything's your favorite.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's objectively the best.
Yeah, the best. Right.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. I love the Ewoks. I know a lot of people hated the Ewoks. You know, these stupid cuddly bears in this movie. Especially coming out of Empire, I get it. I get the criticisms against Jedi, but I don't care. I love Jedi. I saw Jedi. My dad took me out of school to go see Jedi. Yes, that is worse.
That is horrendous. Yes, it is.
Sure.
Yes,
My dad took me out of school to see Jedi. I saw it at this old school theater in downtown Toronto. They had a replica of Han Solo and the Carbonite in the lobby. You walk past them to get in. It was one of those old school theaters.
That's cool.
I would be like,
it was awesome. It was full size. It was big.
Awesome.
You had the real popcorn with the real butter and all that stuff, and there wasn't this tiered seating. If a tall person sat in front of you, it had a balcony. So it was really old school, and I loved it so much. We went back the next day. I was in the theater again, 7 a.m. the next morning because my mother missed it, and I'm like, we have to take you to see Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
7 a.m. She was standing in a alley in Toronto with a bag of popcorn in her hand, wondering what the hell was going on. She had to see Return Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of the people, we have a guest standing backstage, so we're just going to give me a minute before we bring him on. I remember coming out and everyone's like, well, this is just the greatest thing we've ever seen. I wasn't being a big contrarian or anything. I was like, which is the best? To me, I walked out saying this is the best one because I felt like it had the most action and the most monsters.
It did.
And that was, and the thing is that crazy enough as this is going to sound, and unfortunately I'm uncancelable, so you can't really do anything about it. I used to think Empire was the slowest and the worst of the lot because the middle part is just him in the swamp training, and I didn't care about that. Mm-hmm. The beginning of Empire in the snow thing is just the greatest. I just love Hoth, that whole entire thing. Then it became really slow for me, and then it picked up in the end when they went to Cloud City. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, as I grew older, I started to realize the importance and the amazing, because what's funny, as a kid, you're not really thinking about Yoda as like it's a puppet or it's these guys doing this effect. You really buy into it, and you're like, oh, he's being annoying. Like he's annoying Luke, and then you're like, who's this punk, right? You're like, get him out of here. Like, you're annoying Luke. This is shitty. And it's like, I'm Yoda. I was like, what? You're Yoda? What the hell? And the thing is that you didn't really understand what was going on, I think, as a kid. As I got older, I was like, wow, this. And then now those scenes are some of the best scenes that there are in Star Wars because that puppet is totally believable as a real thing. As a kid, you automatically believed it.
Yeah.
So he was being annoying, right? As an adult, you're looking at it, you're like, shit, I can't believe this is like some guy under the stage, and a bunch of guys moving this thing around. It's so believable as a real thing. And then the emotional stuff comes in it, and then the lessons start to make sense in your mind. You're like, yeah, these lessons of Yoda training him and all that. So then I was like, okay, Empire Strikes Back. I mean, they're all 10 out of 10 for me, really. And then Empire Strikes Back's like, yes, this is for quality, for structure. Yeah. It's the best one.
Yeah.
My only nitpicky gripes on Jedi are Death Star reusage. It's like, what, they have to blow up the middle again? Death Star reusage. And also, I understand, I almost wish Lando was on the ground. Like, it feels like I love Lando, FYI, by the way, I love Lando. But it's like he kind of beat the thing. You almost thought Han should have maybe had that, and Lando should have done the side mission or whatever kind of. Other than that, I'm good with the Ewoks, man. I thought they were friggin' awesome, man. I was like, I like these guys. And people are upset that they beat the Stormtroopers. The Stormtroopers suck anyways. Yeah, what are you talking about? They're like, the Ewoks are on their home turf. Okay, they've got traps, right? And it's like Home Alone, but there's like 50 Kevin McAllisters or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Stormtroopers suck, right?
One hit his head on the frigging doorway going out and the door in Star Wars. That's a famous
Well,
thing.
that's been edited out, though.
Yeah.
That's been edited out, eh? Did you notice that? That's gone from Star Wars. They took that out. One of the. I mean, give you a break, George. Like
it's good when they did that. To me, it's fine when they did that.
My biggest nitpick with Return of the Jedi is they did Boba Fett wrong. I was a Boba Fett fan. I mean, with as little as he did in the series, the mystery surrounding him, and I mean, they did it worse than the TV show that they put on.
What TV show?
But but him just hitting him and then his jetpack shoots. I'm like,
I
was so mad.
That's a disappointment later, which I'm going to get to. All right, so let me bring in. We've got our first time guest here. So for first time guests, I'm going to play my favorite movie of all time. My just like every time this happens in this movie, I get chills. So I play this for my new guests. Here we go. Hey, Star Wars Marvel purist. I'm just going to call you purist for short.
That's like the general consensus. That's what I call, my audience, the purists. We're all a bunch of purists. So
that is awesome.
And Conan is awesome, man. Conan,
I just watched that
Master, like that's right up my alley, dude. I know we're about the same age. I think you're a little older than I am.
I'm 47.
I'm like the ending of Gen X, right? So I'm the one. So I always feel like, I do feel it's the older audience that doesn't like Return of the Jedi or any of that. But that's also why when you get to Phantom Menace and stuff, I'm not like critical about Anakin's age or Jar Jar or any of that, because it's just the same thing as the Ewoks. And the Wookiees, I mean, everyone thinks they're like this superpower. I mean, they get wiped out in Revenge of the Sith. The Nogri are taking Wookiees, names and numbers in freaking Heir to the Empire. They get enslaved on their own planet by, now I can't remember, the Zerka Corp or whatever in KOTOR. Mm-hmm. So it's not like the Wookiees, Transdoshans go around hunting and capturing them. So it's not like the Wookiees are going around, just kicking everyone's ass in Star Wars. So I think it adds to a little bit of levity, because Return of the Jedi is actually a pretty dang dark movie, I mean, if you take out the Ewoks, you don't have any of that levity. So, and then they're also the little guys, that I think it gives that point that George is trying to make, more than if it's these big, strong Wookiees, you know what I'm saying? So it makes.
I feel like the Wookiees, if it was the Wookiees, the fight should have been super easy for the Wookiees to win. Like it seemed, because I mean, when Chewbacca, like that weapon is dead. To do a Canadian thing, it's deadly, man. Like, I was just like,
the bowcaster,
that bowcaster, holy shit. So if imagine you had an entire like army of those guys, like, I mean, that would just be that'd be massive, right? So I guess, and also, like, would they be living, like, would the Empire have set up, would they have set up the shield generator on the Wookiee planet? I don't know they would have probably thought we shouldn't do that, right?
Much sense, like, from like a tactical standpoint, right? Yeah.
Like, I think if you're looking at it a little bit more, it makes a little bit more sense. Like, even if they saw the Ewoks, they're like, who cares? Like, they're not going to do anything. The Richard, how's it going, man? Thank you for dropping in, buddy.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah, but I am also, I know popular consensus is usually Empire's the best or everyone's favorite, but Return of the Jedi is my favorite movie too. Now, I didn't see any of the first three, because I think I was 2.5 when Return came out. But I just remember Star Wars ever since, you have a memory, like it's always just like I had Secret Wars toys when I was, right when they came out. I hadn't read Secret Wars when I was, 3.5 years old, right? So, this stuff's has always been around me. And my cousin is like a year and a half older than me. So, I'm sure he kind of helped introduce a lot of the stuff. But there's like, even until I did like my most recent or time before last, when I rewatched the Ewok movies, I thought there was a Rancor in them. Like, I totally forgot, because it all kind of just blends, like Ewok movies, Return of the Jedi, and I kind of started thinking like some stuff that happened in Return, like back in the day when I was a kid, happened in the Ewok movie and stuff. So yeah, it's funny.
They're not cannibals because they don't eat each other.
Yeah, that's right. I always say they're cannibals too.
Eating humans.
That's funny, Richard. I say the same thing, but yeah, I mean, they eat humans. So
yeah, they don't eat each other or whatever.
Yeah. So they're brutal.
All right. Well, finally, the Sean has come back to the stream here. Jesus Christ. Okay, guys, stop making fun of Sean. I just saw him pop up in the back. All
right, I'll stop.
All right, stop. All right. Okay, well, let's bring in our next guest.
Oh man,
Jesus.
Ewok.
You already did the joke. It's all the jokes are done. We've expended all jokes. Okay, hold on. While I have everyone here, and I'm gonna because we've already talked about this, but I wanted to, because a lot of people, I say a lot of stuff on this stream, and people don't believe me. I don't know why. I always speak the truth, but this time around, I actually have, and I'm gonna share this. I wonder if I can share this because I was doing some calculations all week about the Ewok movies and Star Wars in general and all that. So I'm gonna see if I wonder if I can share. I wonder if I could share the calculator. I can share the calculator. Can you guys see the calculator?
Yep.
Okay, so this number, it took me a while to get to this. And this is official. I went through like tons of math, and I took all the advanced level maths in high school and all that.
Oh, me too.
And I've come to the determination that the Ewok movies, the live action movies, are 9,322.66% better than anything Disney Star Wars has fucking made. So
I can agree with that. I need to double check the math on it.
Yeah, I've double checked it. So guys, please take a screenshot. This is official. I've done all of the homework for you. You're welcome. I figured it out exactly. So there you go. And because people don't believe me when I say this kind of stuff, so I was like, I'm going to show you the numbers. Everyone says, bring the receipts, show me the numbers, show me the evidence. There's the evidence. That's how much better they are than anything that Disney Star Wars has produced.
How did you arrive at that number, J-Man?
It's too long, Steve. I'd have to do an entire stream of my hard work to get to that number. It involves several keystrokes. I'll tell you that. Okay, so Sean, did you see the other Star Wars movies? You only saw Jedi in the theater, right? Or did you see Empire?
I saw Empire in the theater. I don't know how, because I remember it. They must have re-released it or something. Okay. I was 3 when that movie came out. So yeah.
All right. Okay. We talked about this. Okay. So did you know that it was supposed to be the Wookiees? I didn't know, so I don't think you would have known.
No.
Right. Yeah.
That's afterwards reading magazines and stuff.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what did you? I mean, we talked about this, but go ahead, Tom. Like, what'd you think of Jedi when you saw it in the theater?
Oh, it was freaking awesome. It was my favorite one, like for a while. Because the thing is, it's got this mega showdown at the end, like on two fronts. And Ewoks were fine. I didn't overthink them. That's the thing. I wasn't 19 when the movie came out. That's the thing, right? I was 6. So it was awesome. And they had a lot of Ewok merch. They had a lot of book and record sets that were just Ewok centered for Return of the Jedi. And of course, moving into like 84, 85, 86, it was like the cartoons, 3 different toy lines, the comics. If you were like an older Star Wars fan, you'd probably be freaking out. It's like, oh my god, like now it's the Ewoks. They've ruined the franchise, because there's so much Ewok stuff for most of the rest of the 80s for Star Wars. But no, I loved it. I didn't see anything. I didn't really realize that Han Solo steps on a twig and that sets off the entire third act. I didn't think that until I was like 30 or something. I was like, oh, I guess so. I don't know.
Whatever, eh? Like, this is the other thing. Okay, so on the one hand, it is fun to beat up these shitty movies that come out.
Yeah.
And I've asked this question before, and this is an interesting question because, so us with the prequels, when the prequels had come out, I was like, I don't like these. And then now it's starting to be like, well, they're not that bad. I mean, you guys know this so long, like, confession, I've seen Phantom Menace about 45 times or something. I watched it like back to back for a while just because I like Qui-Gon walking around and talking. Oh, hold on a second. Or another super chat, buddy. Thank you so much. This movie rocks. When Wicked held, there can be only one cut off Voldemort's head with Excalibur and to save Middle Earth from the Klingons, I cried. That is exactly when I cried as well. RR has been commenting on all my Blake 7 videos in this. I don't think you're watching the same show. We might be watching different shows, but I agree with you on this on this point. But anyway, so I asked this, is it possible? I know the answer is actually no. for actual reasons. But is it possible that the sequel trilogy could, in 15 years time, be looked back on and be like, well, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was? I think it will still be bad. My reasoning was that there isn't a character that grows or has a change throughout. Because the prequels are still iffy for me, to be honest, but you can follow at least one character. Like you can still follow Anakin, let's say, to the first or second and the third one. You can still follow a guy. You can't follow anyone in the new ones. So I don't think so. But does anyone think that maybe in 10, 15 years look back, it's like, well, they weren't that bad. Were they that bad, guys? I don't know, because they've done that on the prequels. Because we walked out, we're like, F this shit. This is crap. I don't know what this crap is.
I think for me, there'd have to be a way in. My way into the prequels to actually liking them is seeing what it's really about, like the Knights Templar and the fall of like a democracy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, this makes it a bit more interesting, right? It's still not totally that, but it's but the sequels, what the hell are those about? Like, I don't even know.
About 2 hours too long.
It's about Palpatine's clone's granddaughter or something. I don't know.
Shit, you explained that actually pretty good. That was pretty good. That was damn good. Sean, you're gonna write that on the back of the collection.
This is about Palpatine's clone's granddaughter.
Yeah. Okay, so Steve, what do you think? We'll just go in order of the screen and then we'll get on to the Ewoks.
No, it's impossible. Well, the problem is that what is the ancillary media that I'm watching to lead me back in? Because for me, it was Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated one, that got me more interested in the prequel. I still don't like the prequels, but it got me a little less harsh on them because it felt like I got something good with that storyline. I don't have anything good with the sequels. There's nothing else around it that I'm like, oh yeah, like this now will lead me to go and look at that.
Like no comics or even
they
like
that. They had a show. It was Resistance, and it's boring as ass.
Yeah,
and it's like, and no one even remembers it happened.
It's Dave Filoni too. He gets a pass on that one because it wasn't good.
I'm not a fan of these newer. I don't want to get derail this, but I'm not a really big fan of any of these new people. Like they're saying Filoni. I didn't watch Clone Wars, unfortunately. I do own it on Blu-ray, so I will eventually watch it.
Yeah.
Can I want to just be a bit of an ass for just a second. You know what Star Wars is to me? Live action films. If it's not a live action film, my caring level is slightly lower. I'm okay with the cartoon, like the Ewok cartoons and droids. I'm okay with the novels. I have those, the Bounty Hunter series. I've got the Tales of Jabba, Tales of Bounty Hunter books. Those are kind of neat. I think I have Rogue Squadron or whatever, that first X-Wing one book. So I'm okay with some of that, but to me, I kind of look at the real Star Wars is live action films. And right now, 33% of them are absolutely like trash awful. 33% of them are like, yeah, they're okay. And 33% are like the friggin', well, what am I saying 33%? There's way more shit. I forgot about the other shit movies that came out, but like Solo and stuff, I was forgetting that one. But anyways, that's me. Okay, Purist, what do you think could they be redeemed, these three?
I don't think it's possible at all. So the prequels have a lot of like endearing stuff. Like for one, I don't buy into that everyone hated the prequel. I can understand you guys have your reasons for not liking it or whatever. I'm a huge expanded universe guy though. So like, and then I don't know. To me, so the prequel trilogy is showing the different path that, well, first of all, the reason Phantom Menace Anakin's a boy is because George wants to show the purity and innocence of a child and how that gets destroyed and then he goes to the dark side. You can't start Anakin out at 15 years old like everybody wants to see that arc. Like that doesn't happen. So he has to show that, It's arguable. Maybe it should have been a 4-movie series instead of a trilogy. But that's the whole thing. There's a deviation of the choices they choose, right? That's the whole point of the prequels versus the original trilogy. And, Anakin gets that redemption because of Luke's correct choice. And, and everything Anakin wanted, Luke actually gets later on in the expanded universe. And that's the thing. So Disney retconned the expanded universe to turn around and then do their version of Dark Empire, which is what they made fun of EU fans for as not being a good story, which I would agree. I don't think Dark Empire is the biggest thing I would hold up on a pedestal, the expanded universe, but it was still done better than Disney Star Wars did it. But yeah, they destroyed Luke Skywalker's character and everything everybody knows about him that did read the novels and did play the games and did read the comics. So I don't think it's redeemable because you can't do that to that character. Now, in the expanded universe, when we go on, Luke Skywalker isn't the main character all the time either. They did a very good job of like passing the baton to the grandchildren and stuff like that, you know, or the children of, you know, Leia and Han and all that. But, you know, so yeah, the answer is no. I mean, there's
oh no. Yeah. The Luke is the big, I think Han getting killed, like this top row here, we saw it together and Han died and we walked out like, this is a effing trash dumpster fire mess. I like Last Jedi better because at least there was some, like a couple of cool scenes and I thought they were going to do something different. And then Luke showed up and Luke sucked in that too. I was like, well, wait a minute, what? Because Force Awakens is one of my worst films of all time. It's a remake of Episode 4 with a dumber ending and characters that don't make any sense. And Han Solo, it's just like it's a disaster.
Deadbeat Dad.
Yeah, Deadbeat Dad. The whole thing. It's the worst one for sure because it's still a copy. Yeah. Last Jedi, the guy tried to do new things, but it doesn't fit with the last movie, and then you ruin Luke, so I can't review it. If Luke wasn't even in that movie, I wouldn't be as tense at it. The problem is they added Luke and then he's a loser. And I didn't read 45 novels. I saw the last movie. In the last movie, the guys run around fighting the Empire. He's like, I will not give up on you, father. I see the good inside, like all this big pumped up shit. And then he doesn't care. In order for that to happen in a movie, we need to see precisely why. And it needs to be better than, I saw Ben Solo, maybe I saw something. Dream. I had a bad dream or something, because there was no bad dream with Darth Vader killing people. Darth Vader killed everybody and he was a complete scumbag, and Luke still tried to see the good and extract it from him. So
his friends.
Yeah, surely he would not have turned on Ben. That's a contrivance, and that I'll leave Sean can talk, but I want to get to John. So okay, anyways. So John, the sequels could in 10, 15 years, you think anyone could look back and be like, well, like they were. What about your kids? Like, have your kids watched the sequels?
No,
no.
Bailey's 9, so I mean, I'm hoping like as she gets a little bit older that I'll get her to the Stars movie, because I'm getting her into Godzilla now.
So beautiful! You're doing good. Yeah. You're a good parent.
Yeah. So, but okay. Listen, like I said, I was there from the beginning. I'm such a fan. I mean, I watch them because they're Star Wars. I mean, I know how bad they were trying to make this for like new fans and new generation, and it's just and they screwed the old generation by doing these films. Right. So no, I don't see it redeeming himself in our eyes. I mean, but in somebody that just came around 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they'll be fine with it because they don't know any better. I think we'll do this and we'll get on to the Ewok films. The thing is that I think the people, you see the quote unquote shills or whatever watching these shows and they're like, oh my God, and they're so excited. They kind of I don't want to say they don't have a soul, because that sounds kind of weird, but they kind of don't. What are they loving? The thing, I've literally watched Doctor Who episodes and gotten choked up. I've literally watched not prequels, but original series Star Wars, and I've gotten choked up at parts. It's still, even now, I still a little bit get wow, this was so good. And just because there's a connection and you feel the story and you feel the characters, I'm not seeing it. And Godzilla -1, shit, the entire theater bloody gasped when that woman got nailed. Yeah. And at the end, everyone was crying. I saw that and everyone was sniffling like crazy. Wow, and that's a movie from today. And that's not you just like it because it's old and not a today, you don't like today movies, which is a lie. I like a lot of movies, but people cried on that one. There's no emotion at all. You watch a movie, you're like, I guess that was a movie. There was fights and I got choked up when Solo got killed because I was so pissed off.
Oh no, I was angry. No. I sat there and I was like, he's gonna die.
Chewbacca got dissed on. It was his best friend in the whole wide world, and who the frick does Leia go hug when they come back?
Oh, that was brutal.
Totally bypass it. You were with Chewbacca from all this time, and you hung Ray. I'm like, what?
That was awful.
That was
like,
awful.
I will say this: the prequels. I like things about each of those movies
for
like,
sure.
Because, I would understand the Phantom Menace is like 2/3 of C-SPAN in another galaxy, but then it's like Darth Maul. That it's like in that fight at the end, I'm just like, this is the best thing ever. And like when the doors open up and he comes out with the dual lightsaber, that was the best thing ever in my book. And I'm a Ray Park fan, so I was like, thinking. And then in the second one, I was a fan of Yoda spinning around. I was like,
that was pretty badass.
From seeing him in Empire Strikes Back as a kid, and then seeing him, I mean, I know it was CGI, but that was still fun. And then the last one, like seeing the Sith take over and them executing the Jedi, and then
that was cool.
His fight with Obi-Wan. I mean, there's things to like about the prequels.
For sure.
Sequels, you're just like, Leia's floating in space, and then she wakes up. I was like, "What? What am I?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, she's strong with the Force. I get it, but that's just effing weird."
That is weird. That was weird. Which is so weird.
Michael Rooker did it better in Guardians too, right?
Yeah. No, yeah, that was weird. Okay, all right. So Ewok movies. So we got two movies. Yeah. We've got the longest title in the history of the universe, which is like I don't even know what it's called. Ewoks, the Ewok Adventure, or Caravan of Courage and Ewok Adventure, or Ewoks the movie Caravan of Courage and Adventure, and Dungeons and Dragons, and all. I don't know. It's like the longest. So
it's called Caravan of Courage on Disney Plus. That's where I watched it.
Right.
It's the Ewok Adventure when it came out on TV. And
yes, that's what I
like Europe or something in theaters. It was Caravan of Courage, right? So,
Caravan of Courage. Okay, so. And then, and of course, we have the battle for Endor, which doesn't have the Dulocs, but it has like the Marauders. I guess they call them Marauders. Is that what they're
Marauders? Yes,
Tarek and the Marauders. All right. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to do. So we're going to use my space system, and I'm going to keep track of everybody's thing, and we'll talk a bit about them, like what we think, just in general. But don't say which one you like more or whatever. Just how you found out about it, and I'll go first so that you can get what I'm doing, and then we're going to do the actual verses of which one has the better story. So my space system is story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gives a score between 0 and 2, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to do comparatively. So story, which has the better story? Caravan or Battle, which is paced better, which has better artistry, which would include music, effects, monsters, right? Whatever. Characters, obvious, which has the better characters. Enjoyment is, it doesn't matter. Which one do you like more, regardless of that, if that makes sense or not? Like, people say I love Return of the Jedi. That's my favorite Star Wars movie. Yeah, but isn't Empire better? Well, maybe it's better in these categories if I try to figure it out. But no, I kind of like Empire better, or I like Jedi better, and that's fine. Like that's why I have that enjoyment factor in the system, because you can just say, well, I like it anyways. I don't care. I don't care if, maybe Army of Darkness isn't the best story, but I love that movie, so whatever. So that's how it goes. Okay, so for the two Ewok movies, I saw them off TV. I love the Ewoks. I always wanted the Ewok Village. I didn't have the Ewok Village. I'm upset that I never had the Ewok Village. I always wanted that toy. I was going to get the Lego version, and then it was about $5,000. So I thought, I'm going to pass on the Lego version. But I try to buy Ewok toys when they come out. If I see them around, they're kind of neat. And I remember seeing it and thinking these were really neat. And then I rewatched them when that DVD double pack came out. And I was like, holy shit, this is friggin' awesome. I was like, they're going on an adventure. They're picking up like extra guys. I was like, this is D&D. And then each guy has like a magical item to take on the thing. And the kid's like, oh, I don't want this stupid rock. I'm like, oh, kid, like, are you playing D&D? Like, what are you doing? You know that's going to be a thing, right? It's like this kid, Mace has never seen any movies. He doesn't know how any of this works. So they go on this adventure like, this is pretty damn cool. And then the next one is Conan the Barbarian. It's like, they show up. I was like, okay, well, wait a minute. I was like, wait, is the mom dead? I'm like, shit, is she dead? And it's like, okay.
They didn't even bother getting the actress to come back to like dead body. It's like,
no, just someone's ass.
I was like, okay. I was like, well, the father's dead. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And then I was like, well, there's Mace. Okay, well, Mace is the man. Okay, he's not going down. This guy's fucking getting shit done.
He was the man for 33 seconds.
And he got nailed. I was like, shit, Mace got nailed. I literally thought Sindel was going to go on the Wheel of Pain and then there's going to be Stu Price or something. She's
and like grow up and like,
and then she's like this super muscular, like Stu Price. She's like American Gladiators or something, and then it's like fucking Sindel, and it's like. Now, at the end of this, I'll tell you my idea for because in my version, Mace survives. There's no way this guy's dead. Like, this kid was getting shit done in the last movie.
Kill the parents, but not the brother.
Yeah, the parents can die. So I'm watching this as an older guy. I was like, shit, Sindel's gonna be fucking Conan and like take care of this shit. And then I was like, shit, and then I don't know. And then what's his face? Quaker or whatever comes Quaker Oats, man, comes in. It's like, all right, I get shit done. I was like, I love these movies. So anyway, I like both movies. Sean, what do you think?
I saw them when they came out on TV. I was as excited as everyone else. I remember the Entertainment Tonight thing where they showed a clip, and it was like Mary Hart and some other dude. It wasn't John Tesh. And they're like, oh my God, that's not, like they're mega. I don't know if they're faking it, but they're super hyped up. And I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Like, it's Star Wars on TV. I think, like, I was too young to remember the holiday special. I didn't even know about that till I went to a Star Trek convention when I was a teenager.
Live, my friend.
Because it only aired once, but I was like, oh, what the hell's this? Right now it's like, a thing. But so I was like, oh, the first time Star Wars on TV, like, this is awesome. Like, it's a Star Wars movie on television. And at the time, I equated Ewoks with Star Wars because I wasn't older. I was like, oh yeah, they've got the pew pew gun sound effects and everything. It's awesome. So yeah, I don't think it was on a Sunday, and it was one of those Sundays like I didn't do my homework the whole weekend. So I'm like, you know what? After this, then I'll do my homework at like 10 or something, and that never happened, right? You're watching it's like it's pretty awesome, and there's some cool stuff in it, like stop motion creatures and stuff that make it feel Star Wars.
Right.
And the next one, like I was hyped that they made a sequel. It was pretty awesome. I wanted them to make a trilogy, and they never did that. But
yes,
I was very I was very hyped up for it. I'll say this: I don't remember kids talking about the next day. It's one of those weird things. I remember anything else, like it, like everyone's talking about that stupid spider at the end. But no one really talked about the Ewoks movies. I don't know how popular they were at the time. But I thought they were awesome. So,
all right, Steve.
I loved them as a kid. Like I saw them, I didn't see any difference. Like I wasn't like, oh wow, this isn't like Return of the Jedi, and this isn't like Empire. I just accepted it immediately as this is part of Star Wars. I love Ewoks from Return of the Jedi. This is their ongoing stories. This is what happens after the Empire falls, and I just accepted it and enjoyed them, and I didn't think anything else of them. I didn't think of them as any lesser. I was actually shocked later when I found out people were like, these movies aren't good. I'm like, really? Why? It's Star Wars. Like, this is when Star Wars was still unbeatable, and we didn't have to worry about frigging, Han Solo dying while just
like a stupid moron.
Yeah, just standing there with his face hanging out while his son just runs him through. Like I'm like, okay, cool. Like it was to me, it was never, oh, this is not this. Oh my God. Spider's terrible. But it was never about anything else. And this is just Star Wars. This is just a continuation of this awesomeness. So I loved them as a kid. Now I saw them on TV, and the next time I saw them was yesterday. Before I did the stream. So I've literally not seen these two movies since I was a kid on TV.
All right. Purist, what are your thoughts without giving away which one you like more?
Well, I found it was funny because when I rewatched them, I'll talk about when I was a kid too, but when I rewatched them, I think it's real funny that you got Miss McGill from Youngblood as the mom in the first one. And then you got
Thank you.
Principal
all right, I was
Vernon
trying to figure out
one,
where she was from.
Yes.
He was
Principal. That's right. Yeah, right.
Right, he was a principal, right? The dude in Breakfast Club.
No, he's not the
Paul Gleason.
Yeah, wait, I don't think it was. He the principal?
He was the second one. He was in the second one. There was a different guy.
He's the second one.
Yeah, he's in the second one.
I thought he was just like the. Yeah, I thought
he was also in Die Hard.
Yeah. I thought he was just a teacher. I didn't know he was the principal.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was laughing though. I thought that was funny on the rewatch. But yeah, I remember both the movies. Like again, like so I know I saw Return of the Jedi before these, you know, but I distinctly remember watching these, right? Because me and my cousins were at my grandma's. You know, all our parents would go out. We'd go over the hill to grandma's house and stuff. So it was the Sunday night movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we did the same thing for both of them. We sat there right in front of the TV like glued, dude. And we didn't complain. We weren't like, oh my God, it wasn't a Rancor. And oh, you know, why weren't there Wookiees? And, you know, just none of that. It was cool. It was fun. The second one obviously is more magical, so more fantasy elements and all that. But I think feels more in universe than the first one. But the first one's got like, yeah, it was cool, dude. As a kid, they were both fine. I had no problems with them. I specifically remember the good memories with my cousins and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a problem with them, and I know I bought the VHSs or had my parents get me the VHSs or whatever. And now I don't think I went and rewatched them all the time, but you know, I have them.
All right, John, what are your memories of it?
All right, so I'm gonna mean this in the best way possible. So I'm like, they're harmless. Like it's Star Wars, which, so that right there, it's you know, anything Star Wars. I mean, even like we're talking about the sequel trilogy and everything. It's like, for me, it's still Star Wars. It's hard to explain. I mean, I'm such a fan of it, but yeah. It's different from because again, I'm like Steven, I have not watched these since I was in elementary school, or in middle school or whatever. So my love of them is still there, but it dropped just a little. And the biggest thing I had with the first one was Eric Walker, who's made his acting is, oh my God, I couldn't get past it. I was just like, I'm like, you had one job. You're in a Star Wars movie. And it's like, it was kind of painful to watch, actually, a little bit. I mean, his little sister was acting better than he was. And I mean, and as a kid, you don't notice that. You're just like, yeah, it's got Ewoks, man. It's got, you know, it's action. It's Star Wars and everything. So that right there changed it a little bit. I'm not going like which one's my favorite right now. I'm talking about from watching it now, because I just watched the first one yesterday and then the second one today. And it's fun. It's Star Wars. I mean, George Lucas wrote the story, you know, and you got a director that you never heard of who directed it, you know, but it's a curiosity too. It's like what they were like. Obviously, they were trying to, you know, grab kids' attention more, you know, like because like with the Ewoks and everything. And I get because they grabbed my attention when I was a kid. So, but I mean, like I said, I love them. I still do, but it's just a little bit less because I can see, like, you know, like the things like, and I hate that about myself. Now that I'm an adult and I'm jaded because I've been through life and everything. I wish I was 8 years old again watching these movies, because then it would have been a lot more fun to watch them, if you could believe, if you can see what I'm saying, you know. Right.
Well, I just rewatched them the other day and I was like, yeah, these are great. One of my superpowers is I can transform into the exact target audience that the movie is asking me to be. And that's why I feel when I don't like something, it's really failed, because like I don't really get into too much of, like, you know, when I was watching The Acolyte, it's just like every episode is just so awful. Like it's just so awful. And this isn't awful as in, Jay read all of the books and knows that this planet can't do this or this weapon. No, it's just awful. It's so, like, if it's awful on a generic level, then it's just bad, because then you've got your Star Wars guys who are going to nitpick, who are going to point out all of the inaccuracies, as well as it being a bad show. Like whenever there's an IP, there's two reviews. There's the review of the product. Then there's the review of the product coming from the perspective of what this franchise is. Right. So like, you know, like, I think, like, you know, let's say the Dark Knight is like a pretty good movie. I don't really think it's a great Batman movie, because like, it doesn't have the Batman things that I want, right? Yeah. Like, you know, like it's like there's no Batcave. It's like Joker, but not Joker. Kind of. Two-Face is dead and not like, it's just like, it's weird. Like I can understand people. It's like, wow, this is a good craft movie. The music is good, and it's not Batman-ish. So I don't, you know, it's like I've watched the movie a bunch of times, so it's not like I hate it or I like the movie. But that's what. So same with these. But Acolyte looks like it just failed on all levels. So for the Ewoks, I'm like, well, I mean, it's on the forest moon or whatever of Endor. There's guys going around. It feels like there's an adventure. There's a goal. It's clear what's going on. It's clear who the good guys are. It's clear who the bad guys are. I understand what's happening in scene to scene. I know some of the people here didn't watch Acolyte. I strongly suggest that you actually do watch it, because you need to understand how, like, if people made fun of like Obi-Wan and what some of the other shows that they're all not, none of them were really that good. But this one was exceptionally awful in like a Steve and I took film school, like where it's like, it's just bad. Like you're like, well, who made this? Like, this is terribly, like the Ewok movies are not bad. You're not sitting there saying, I wonder what Sindel is thinking about right now. It's like, oh, she hates her family. Oh no, now she loves her family. Oh no, now she hates her brother. Oh no, now she loves her brother. Where is this? Right? Where is this happening right now? And who is this character? And oh, this is the bad guy. Wait, who is that guy? Who is this character? Like, it's terrible. Coolish Dan, how's it going? Thank you so much for coming in and watching the animated show. We're going to talk about the animated show at some point. Anyway. So I'm just saying that these movies, and when you're looking back at them now, you're like, okay, they're for kids, guaranteed. They're for little kids, but they're an adventure. There's lessons. There's
parental lessons from the dad. The dad's not like a big dope. And
the dad. Yeah, there's no. Like, you don't want to say the agenda thing, but there is no agenda. The agenda is adventure. That's the agenda. They get the parents are missing, so they're going to find them. It's not a fucking surprise. Right, but that creature was pretty awesome. That creature looked pretty damn good. Getting the magical items and doing crap along the way and like learning shit, and like, this is pretty neat. Okay, so let's go through it. So we'll go back. We'll start with John first. So story, just the story. Just looking at the story for both movies, which one has the better story for you, and why?
I always gravitated towards the second one, just because, like, I mean, the first one, like, it was they crash land, the parents and the kids separated, they found the Ewoks and they helped them find them, and there's not really a bad guy in the first one. It's just it's just that I what was he called, the big
is that what it's called, Gorax?
The Gorax,
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Or the Lorax, or but
yeah,
I mean, there's not really
they team up.
Yeah, right. I mean, I like the second one because it had more of a Star Wars feel to it, because we have a big laser battle. The Marauders. It's like, where'd they come from? I mean, did I miss that part too? Like, because why weren't they like, it's just like everybody just kind of shows up on, like then Noah shows up and stuff. But I like the second one more, just because it's darker. I mean, if you think about it, because like what happens to her family at the beginning. So you're saying these are family films, but are they really? Because there's the first one, there's a lot of nasty looking monsters that would give like my daughter was 5 or 6, she'd be like having nightmares after these things. But I think they're cool. They're like Ray Harryhausen in like stop motion. I was like digging all of that. But the second one, I would have to say I like the story.
We're going to go through all the categories.
Yeah, so the story I like in the second one better, just because the Marauders it's a more like of a legit threat. They're they're merciless, and they have to take them on, and it's kind of like Return of the Jedi, where the Ewoks have to do their thing, and like going up against the Stormtroopers in Return of the Jedi, they get to do their thing and go up against them. So I was always a fan of the second one. Story wise, yeah, I gotta go with that one.
Okay. I'll go next. Oh man, see, you made some good points. I was leaning towards Caravan. I think
I can see why though. I can see why you would pick that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Caravan of Courage. There's only really 2 reasons. Number one, it's D&D, acquiring guys and getting magical items and going on a clear goal. Rescue the parents and come back. The second one feels like things are happening in the world of the Ewoks, and it's like it's not really Sindel's adventure. It's like that evil woman and the Marauder guy. What's his name? Tarek. Yeah. He it's more like him. It's more like his story, I guess. So I think Caravan for me, just because again it's a D&D thing. I'm a D&D guy. Here's your magical items. here's your party. There's your big beefed up guy with your big axe guy. There's your guy with your blaster. Like each guy gets a thing, and then it's clear. Go rescue the parents and come back, and the movie's over, and that's your mission. That's your session, and then hopefully everyone shows up on time and brings food and shit. So that's that would be my pick. Hello, GT James. I don't remember these movies, but I watched them at least 50 times as a kid. Yep, for sure. Were they all Jim Henson? I don't know.
I don't think so.
ILM.
Okay.
Yeah. It was George Lucas's company.
All right, Steve, I'll go next to you, and then Sean, and then I'll leave Pierce for the end for this one.
I agree. It's Caravan of Courage for me. The acquisition of like having the items and they all actually come through and mean something was super important, because a lot of the times with these sort of movies, you get that sort of thing and then nothing happens with half of them, or they're not really as important as they should be. I knew The Rock 2 would be of importance.
Oh, you would have thrown it away, Steve. Stop it. I know, guaranteed you would have been like, "What?
It's a movie. It's a movie." But
I would have been like, "I've seen other movies. I need this for later." No.
Yeah, and it broke perfectly when it was thrown down. Like when it was.
Of course, listen, it was made to be that way.
There you go. But I thought it was just very clear. I understood exactly. Not saying that the second one wasn't clear. Mm-hmm. There was like just little oddities here and there that kept happening. I'm like, why is this happening? Why is it? It wasn't like a deal breaker, but it's just like, for example, he throws her into the prison and he's like, "Oh, I'll get you out." And then I'm like, then she becomes a raven and doesn't really do much. And then the ring breaks at the end and he turns into stone. I'm like, why? What? Huh? And it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it, but I understood everything that was happening in Caravan of Courage a little bit clearer.
Okay. Sean?
I gave both movies 2 out of 2 for every category, so I have to ding one to crown a winner for each category. So
yes, that is the challenge, Sean. You've done these before. You've been on 1 or 2 times, I think. You've been on here before for these.
You love the story.
I love both these movies. So, and I've seen them multiple
story do you like
times.
less?
I've seen them multiple times, so it's not like I watched as a kid and then I just watched it yesterday for this thing. I was almost gonna not watch them for this, but I was like, I'll watch them again. Right? Look, I'm gonna go with Caravan of Courage or Ewok Adventure or whatever the hell. Because the thing is, they're both awesome, but like I think Battle for Endor, the story is a little flatter for me than the Ewok Adventure. Ewok Adventure is they have to go on this first mission where Mace has to team up with these Ewoks and like get friendly with them. So it's accomplishing that, and also showing what the Ewoks can do, because they defend themselves against this big monster and everything. And that's just to heal Sindel. And then they go on this big Caravan of Courage, and they have to acquire guys, and like Mace doesn't like that axe guy, and then he teams up with them and stuff, and then he's like mega crying it. So there's a whole arc. There's a lot more interesting things happening in Caravan of Courage. Battle for Endor, I feel like there's a lot. I mean, I know it's character development, but there's a lot of like curmudgeonly Wilfred Brimley, like, "Oh, I don't like these kids, but I secretly do," and all this. For like 40 minutes, it's like, I get it. I understand. Like, gee, I wonder how this movie's gonna end. Like, he's gonna love the kids. Like, whatever. And that's it. That's really
you knew Mace was gonna fall in love with his Ewok companion by the end of the movie.
Yeah. I don't, and I always, even as a kid, I always had a problem with Tarek and the Marauders. I don't get what they are. Like, I think they were. You can speak to this later, Star Wars Marvel Pierce, but I thought they were canonized as pirates from space somehow. But the thing is, how can that be when they don't even know how the hell a battery works? Like, they're so stupid. Even as a kid, I was like, they're so dumb. Why? Like, they're not really a threat, because even that witch woman that feels like she should be intelligent, she's like, "Oh, give me the power." It's like, it's a battery, for ass sake. Like, what you stupid? Like,
so hold on a second. You said these are both 10 out of 10, 5 seconds. This doesn't sound like 10 out of 10.
I'm trying to do one, right? But like,
yeah. I was just ranking against one.
finding it hard to believe.
That never, even as a 7-year-old or whatever, it never made sense to me. So if I had to ding one, it's gonna be Battle for Endor. And I think that Caravan Courage has a lot more fun things. Like even that axe guy doesn't turn up till later on. He's awesome, So there's more and more inventiveness in Ewok Adventure than there is, I would say, in Battle for Endor.
Purist, what are you showing me?
All right. Well, so I'm going to explain why the Ewok movies work and the sequel trilogy doesn't. This is the illustrated Star Wars universe. It's a bunch of concept art by Ralph McQuarrie, Kevin J. Anderson, one of the original EU authors, wrote everything in this. And you open the book and you're 3 pages in. The first big double page splash page is a Gorax looking into the Ewok village, right? You have the Night Sister that's in this. You have the explanation and the backstory and everything for the Marauders, how they are not technologically advanced. They're stranded on Endor, and they're not smart enough to figure out how to fix the technology that they're stealing, and that's why they're trying to get Sindel to do it all. So anyways, there's backstory and all that to it, which is cool. Sindel actually shows up in Black Fleet Crisis, the trilogy, in the final book, grown up, 10 years after.
Yes, she's like a reporter or something, right?
Yeah, yep, exactly. So there's lots of times they have the blurgs in the second movie and all that. So, and I know this is kind of off, topic on the other, but it's kind of why it works, because it's very Star Wars-ish, you know what I'm saying? And, but again, story wise, I would say the second movie, for me, just because it felt more in universe, minus Wicket speaking basic all of a sudden. That was.
And why didn't he not know English in Return of the Jedi? Because this takes place between Empire and Return of the Jedi. And he's speaking perfect English in the second one.
Where does this take place?
It takes place between Empire and Return of the Jedi.
It's supposed to, but it doesn't make sense.
Okay. It does.
I didn't even know that.
The cartoon takes place before Return, because the last episode has the Empire discovering the Endor moon. So
okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, Purist, continue on. So you're saying so you like Battle for Endor? Story wise, better.
Endor better because you get more of and obviously probably the technology stepped it up, right? Because another year or two, they probably made some money off the first one, obviously, or George didn't give a shit and just spent more money on this one. Because in the first one, you have horses and stuff. Now they do have a horse that they use in this one, but it's more, you have the blurgs and you have the better costuming and everything for the Marauders and stuff like that. It just felt a little more like Star Wars. It obviously has bigger stakes, right? I mean, the mom's dead. The dad freaking gives a story to pep talk to his daughter to, not turn around and, keep going and da-da-da-da-da. You got to survive type thing. Remember this other story I told you? And then he dies. So, I mean, stuff's going on, right? Where the first one, but the first one's still a good contained story too. I wouldn't knock the story on that one either. Like I said, rewatching it as an adult, I could still see, the story beats on both and how, what Lucas is trying to do with it. But yeah, now I think the set design and all that was all done by Joe Johnston also.
Yes.
On both of these movies. And he went on, obviously George helped, he went to school, went to USC, and he ended up directing the Captain America First Avenger movie and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Joe Johnston was really essential, obviously, in the OT and the.
That's my favorite MCU movie. Is
super underrated. It's underrated because everyone says Winter Soldier, and I love that movie too.
That's my second favorite.
I am a Winter Soldier.
I can see it kind of drags a little with the bonds and all that, but they had to do that for story reasons, but but anyways, so I mean, I would give the edge to the second movie, but the first one's not bad by any means. Again, the Gorax is all the stuff's in the expanded universe canon, and they bring them back in. Obviously, that's when they did the Mandalorian. Hey, look, we have blurgs, on episode 2 or 3. Look at us, we're Star Wars, so. But so I'd give the edge to number 2 on the story.
All right, I'll let you.
Night Sister too. The witch, she's a Night Sister, and they do change the Night Sister lore a little bit.
Oh shit! Okay,
they're very old.
They're Dathomiri Night Sisters, and that gets changed again by Dave Filoni. But because on Dathomir you have the Night Sisters, but then you also have the Witches of Dathomir, which is light side users, and then the Night Sisters are the dark side version of that. So, but yeah, the EU didn't have all the continuity yet. They didn't really work that out until the until the Thrawn trilogy came out. So they do change some stuff, but they definitely use it and like interweave it in other stories and stuff.
I'll let you start the next category, which is pacing. So which out of the two movies do you think has better pacing? They're both pretty short, but what do you think?
Which makes it a lot easier. Yeah, a lot better because everything these days is long and dragged out.
Yeah, so you can't rewatch it again. I can't watch 7-hour movies twice in a day. I watched Army of Darkness 3 times in one day. It's like 85 minutes. It's
you can watch Commando 10 times at once.
That's everything in the 80s, man. Just tight scripts and just get to the point, right?
Yeah.
I would probably say the pacing is probably better on the first movie. What's up, Chris? How you doing, bro?
Hey, Chris.
Probably the first movie, because like you said, you're introducing a lot of extra stuff in the, I can't remember who mentioned that, but in the second movie, but you kind of have to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it does the second movie does jump off and just, you get to where you're going pretty quick too. But yeah, then you have the little thing, like the stuff with the old man, again, that's where you have the lag, like on the pacing, I would say.
Right.
That sticks out of both movies the most. But yeah, so I guess pacing wise, I would say like the first movie.
First
probably.
one. For me, for the pacing, this is tough because I feel the first one starts out slower but gets better as it goes, whereas the second one starts out super fast, then it's a little slower in the middle, and then the ending is awesome. So because it's my channel, I sometimes cheat on these, and I just kind of say, let me go last and hear everyone else's opinion, and then I make up my own based on that. So, Sean, you weren't too sure. John, Steve, is any one of you like 100% sure on which pacing? Okay, Steve, go for it.
I am. I'm 100% sure.
Okay. All right. Oh, Steve. Okay, Steve, go. What's your pacing?
It's the second one for me for sure. The Caravan actually does not happen until 42 minutes in. I actually hit the display to time it. And in between, you have some of the worst acting I think I've seen in a while in the child.
But you haven't watched The Acolyte.
I haven't
Everybody
seen
in chat. Steve, you're going to change your name.
Great. He's just what I said.
Steve has to put Steven asterisk has not seen Acolyte. I don't get it. Sorry. Okay.
If you want, I'll change it. But like,
badge of honor.
Listen.
Unfortunately, J-Man, you took the bullet for that. So I mean, I'm not going to go and retread in your shoes and be miserable with you.
All right. Sorry.
CW wants me to do that with Man and Lois. I ain't doing it. Anyhow, yeah, it takes 42 minutes. It felt like it took so long where I was sitting there saying, is Caravan of Courage a metaphor for what they're doing, or is there an actual caravan that's going to be happening?
Caravan of patience.
Yeah, it took a long time. As Pura said, the second one just starts off, bang. There's this massive thing, and there's this massive thing, and like there's this massive battle right at the beginning, and people are dying and all this stuff, and that was basically me. And there's all this crazy, there's all these murders at the beginning. I'm like, holy crap. The middle is a little bit slow. I get it. I wasn't that slow because Wilford Brimley is endlessly entertaining to me no matter what role he's in. And I did like Teak a lot. I know I agree the design for Teak was gruesome, but I did enjoy it. And then like the end is fast paced as hell. And I just thought it was just better paced. I didn't have to hit the display button once there to see where the hell we were.
Display button.
That's right.
You also haven't seen Eternals, so that's the other asterisk you got. You're by the time you're gonna have to put a lot of asterisks on your.
Well, I mean that I did say that I've seen.
Okay.
I have seen
Sean and I sat in the Eternals. We're like, Jesus H Christ, what the hell?
I saw the trailer. I was like, nope.
Something's gonna happen. I know it, and then it didn't happen. I thought something will happen. I know it.
My daughter fell asleep.
Oh, my wife taps out in 3 minutes for all show. She'll be like, "Yeah, I'm done." I'm like, "It just started. Yeah, that's boring." I'm like, "It's only been 5 minutes." I can tell it's gonna be boring. Yeah. So okay, John, which one has better pacing for you?
See, this one I shot back and forth with too, because I was having the same problems too. Like the first one, like I agree with Steven. Like he's saying, like at the beginning, it's just like you're like, okay, it's like, and like they're lost, and then they find the Ewoks, and again, it's interesting because then you're like, they're becoming friends and everything. Like, don't distract me. And then the second one, I'm a fan. I've said this before on Owen's podcast. Like, I'm a fan of a bang beginning, and the second one does have that one, and then it gets slow. Like, then they find Noah, and it's kind of like the problem of the first one.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a fan. The pacing didn't seem as bad with the second one as it did with the first one, because you had the great beginning, and then you had the great ending, and then the stuff in the middle. I was like, there was still stuff happening, but like Steven was saying, it was just like, okay, like, where's the journey? Like, what's happening? Like, the parents are going to be dead by the time you guys start this quest to go find them. And everything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm like, I'm surprised I'm assuming he was going to eat them. I mean, I don't know what else he was going to do with them.
I ate them 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
like you just missed it. It's like,
you think I'd keep your parents around all this time? It's like, I ate them 30 minutes ago. No.
You guys should have put that quest together, got your little trinkets together just a little bit quicker. But yeah, I gotta go with the second one pacing. Right, I like a slam bang beginning, and they die, and it's just like, wow, this is supposed to be a kiddie movie, and you're like,
you guys just love seeing people get murdered. That's all.
I love it, especially when it's supposed to be a family movie. It's like Conan the Destroyer. They made that more for families, and he's slitting the guy's throat as he's jumping on the back of his horse and stuff like that. It's like, where's the family aspect in this?
Oh, it's fun.
I love the 80s. That's why I love the 80s.
Like
I'm a product of the 80s. 80s family films. Gremlins.
Yeah.
I love Jawas. They're so pesky. The best Mandalorian episode was when he was fighting that sandcrawler trying to get in. I was like, because they're so pesky and great. Yeah. And I was like, these little bastards, you can't get in there. That was I watched that episode like 3 times. That was literally the best episode of the Mandalorian.
And he dies so freaking brutally. Like, it's just, they become like ink blots on the ground.
Yeah, he destroyed those guys. I like the Jawas are badass, man. They strip your shit off and they run off. You can't do shit against them. They got that tank. All right, Sean, what do you think? Which one has the better pacing?
He gave 2 out of 2 for both of them. He's got to drop it.
I remember, well, I don't know why I did that now looking at that, but I read an article in Film Facts magazine or something like that about the holiday special that the weird, I think it was like a Quebec guy directed that or something like that, and he was like he met with George Lucas, and George Lucas hadn't done a TV thing yet, and he was like, listen, he goes, how many minutes is this? So he told him how many. He's like, something has to happen every minute. That's what the rule should be, right? That totally isn't what happens in the holiday special. But I feel that really applies more to Caravan of Courage to me than Battle for Endor. That middle, it's cool and stuff, but like the thing is, not a lot's going. It's very predictable. You know what's going to happen, right? With the relationship and all that stuff. Yeah. In Caravan of Courage, there's like a new creature or like a new skill or a new character all the time. Like even meeting up with Logray, and Logray is giving out the big like the Cracker Jack prizes or whatever, and it's like
magical items.
And it's like. But the thing is that magic items. I don't know why I blanked on that. But I want the Cracker Jack prize. But,
I like that better.
Cracker Jack box.
Well, like every time you look at, there's a new cool thing happening, right? There's new cool monsters. There's that monster with the little small, cute little head, and then there's like the big. That's in the new comic, by the way. But
I read the new comic.
Yeah, I feel the pacing, even though the Caravan doesn't show up till later, it doesn't matter. Something's happening all the time. And I'm riveted. I'm invested now. So I feel like Caravan's better to me than Battle for Endor isn't like crappy paced, but like if I were to stack them up against each other, it's like the beginning's cool, but then it's like, okay, I don't like these kids, but I do. And then later on, when they do storm that citadel, that's awesome. And then everything, in Battle for Endor, and then everything after that, the chase, and then like getting the ship to work and all that. That's cool. It becomes a real movie again. But like, but to me, Caravan's probably better paced to me.
All right. Well. First of all, this stream is trash. I've because I sat here and I thought, okay, let me hear everyone. And now it's 2-2, so now I got to break the tie. This is like this is like a Chef Ramsay show.
Oh, you're waiting for
Gregory? It's like I just watched Hell's Kitchen before, so I got to break the tie here. Oh man, this is brutal.
I set up the ties and you always break them like that.
Yeah, I see. This
is on purpose.
Listen,
man.
it's your
going
opinion.
to say the other movie.
I'm gonna go. Okay,
go
you
with
know
your
what?
heart. Listen to your heart.
No, it's not gonna work. I'm gonna go with Battle for Endor. Because I love Caravan of Courage. These movies are both 10 out of 10 for me. I absolutely love them. I'm not bored on any of them, but I think because Battle for Endor, it's so insane. Like, I knew this wasn't gonna happen, but I was praying. I was like, please, if Cindel's on the Wheel of Pain and she becomes like a big jacked up woman. Sometimes I make up my own movie in my head, and then that's the movie I see. And people have said that. You're like, you told me about this movie. It sounded way cooler when you talked about it. I was like, yeah, man, and there's that. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with Battle for Endor. Like the middle part's a bit draggy-ish. I think the draggy parts of Battle for Endor are worse for me than the draggy parts of Caravan of Courage, because as Sean was saying, and Purist, it's like there feels like there's more momentum, like things are moving forward towards something, whereas Battle for Endor stops. It's just now we're hanging around Quaker for a while, and you're like, yeah, but I know he's going to take them in, so I don't.
Yeah,
right? Like, you like Battle for Endor better, though. Now you're saying you don't.
But I'm still saying I like Battle for Endor better because when the fast moving parts happen, it's pretty fast. Right? Does that make sense? I always go back to like math in some weird way. Okay.
That's what I said. I was like slam bang beginning and slam bang ending.
Yeah. All right. Artistry. There's a lot of cool creatures. I'll go with Battle for Endor. There's a lot of monsters and a lot of cool guys, and the Ewok Caravan still has pretty damn cool guys too. I don't know. I think there's so many. I feel like there's so many like visual effects, and you had all those guys in the beginning. They're riding those monsters and stuff. It's like, this is pretty neat. I like the part where Sindel's dad gets his head blown apart by that phaser. At least in my mind, that's what happens.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah,
you guys.
Is that the unedited version?
You didn't see? No, Lucas went back and changed things. Lucas did his version. You got to see. You got to see my
version. Manor hit his hand.
You got to watch my version of Caravan of Courage. It's like super. The beast gets like hacked into it. It's gonna be Terrifier. No, I'll say Battle for Endor. To me, it's somewhat obvious, I think, but I'm not sure. Let's see what everybody else says. Let's go Sean second on this one then. Tarantino cut,
Tarantino cut. I think it's Battle for Endor for me because they're both awesome, and I appreciated monsters and stop motion things in Caravan of Courage. But the Gorax is pretty cool. I remember seeing that concept art of like the Gorax chewing on like one of the platforms of the Ewok village and stuff. It was supposed to be a sequence in Return of the Jedi, and they had to cut it out because I guess it was too much or something. But Battle for Endor is cool because it feels the more Star Wars-y of the two, only because it's basically the Ewoks versus the Jabba's Palace guys. It's like that. That's what it is. It's like those guys look like Jabba's Palace guys. They look like the Skiff Guards and all that stuff. I don't know if it's the same species.
Jabba's Palace is the greatest like thing ever created in cinema. Like
it's the two big iconic parts of that movie to like smash together, kind of thing.
Yeah, Rancor and Jabba are like the greatest thing. Like, we were like, this is the greatest thing we've ever seen in our lives. Like when we saw this in the theater, I'm like, this Jabba the Hutt's is my favorite creature. Like I was like, this is the craziest. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, Sean, you done?
Yeah.
No,
but there's a thing, but anyway.
Yeah, you froze there.
Yeah, no, I froze. So, Yeah, and also the Ewoks are carrying blasters. Like, what the hell? Like, that's awesome. You know, like, and they're shooting guys. There's like a body count on those Ewoks,
Yeah.
man. And I think Wicked even kills a guy like by throwing him into the moat. They don't show like the bubbles going towards the guy and that whatever the creature is in there. But he totally kills a dude in that. So yeah, no, I think Battle for Endor is the better of the art. Feels more like Star Wars, more creatures. But Caravan's good too, but I'll give the edge to Battle.
All right. Let's go, John. John, which one do you think has the better artistry?
So artistry, we're talking like the action and everything,
effects, action, music.
Yeah, so I gotta go
look of it
because it's again just you all said it before me. It feels like the most like a Star Wars movie. I mean, the first one had the Ewoks in it, but other than that, it was just the Ewoks and then the kids and then fighting monsters and stuff like that. So I am like I said, when I was watching it today, I'm like, this is feels more like a Star Wars movie to me. Like, you had the blast, and again, this is a family movie, but then you got I don't know which Ewok did it, but then he throws the spear and it hits one of the Marauders. I'm like, that's awesome. I'm like, hey kids, come around, let's watch this movie. It's family time, and it's like, but yeah, I gotta go short and sweet. I gotta go with Battle for Endor.
All right. Purist artistry. I guess this is going to be, I don't know. Is this going to be a clean sweep category?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Battle. Both of them won Outstanding Visual Special Effects for the Emmys, though. And
awesome.
Looking that up. And the Caravan nominated and lost Outstanding Best Children's Program. And then let me go back up here. Outstanding Children's Program and Outstanding Sound Mixing for a miniseries or special for Battle of Endor. But those were, they were just nominated for both. Yeah. So, but yeah, they both won for visual effects. It looks like they tied Dinosaur. Remember Knock the Mama, right? So it tied an Dinosaur for Battle of Endor. But yeah, I would say the second one. I mean, again, the Gorax there's still all like Sean was saying, there's plenty to look at of Caravan and be like, oh yeah, I mean this but again, like the horses and some of the non-universe Star Wars stuff kind of threw me off as a kid. I don't think I give a shit, But rewatching it, right, like kind of throws you out of universe a little bit more than the second one. Just feels like it's part of like the saga, So, but yeah, so I'd say Battle of for sure for the win.
All right.
Yeah, I just want to add two things actually. Teak is awesome. We haven't really talked about Teak much.
We'll get the characters.
Okay, yeah. So I was going to say the effects of Teak were cool.
Yeah, the effects of Teak are wicked.
The face is very articulated compared to the Ewoks. The Ewoks are not the same suits from the movie.
No.
Obvious.
No,
yeah.
they're not.
They're just plastered on Logray is the worst. Logray's eyes are literally stickers, and the light is like reflecting off of them. But I want to say something else too. The Ewok village is iconic, and in Battle for Endor, I don't know if they explain it, but like the Ewok village is just a ground village of crap.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was just a low budget thing or is a part of the village. I don't know.
It's exactly what it was. It's like we can't build
because of all the action and stuff. They're like, we need down to the low ground for this.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. Is it Battle for Endor?
Oh yeah.
Battle of Endor is one of the last movies they used or stop animation and stuff. ILM. They kind of moved away from that after that era.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, go ahead. Battle for Endor.
Pretty much the same. Like, I love Caravan, but there was a couple of times when I thought I was like the wolf creature that was walking along. I sort of looked at it and I said, "Hey, isn't that the dog from The Thing?" And I went, because it looked exactly like that, and I'm like, okay. And then they went to the spider web. I'm like, my God, is that the Crow set with the spider web? Like, it was just too much more. I was reminded of other movies, which isn't good. Like, I wasn't reminded of any other movie when I was watching Battle for Endor. It was just like awesome. I love the ship battle, all that stuff. Everything you guys have said, I agree with. I like the Gorax from Caravan of Courage, but like literally Battle for Endor, I enjoyed every artistic thing they did.
Okay. Characters, Steve, you want to continue on? Which had the better characters?
Yeah, I'm going to go Battle for Endor here. I know that may not be the popular choice. Maybe I'm wrong, but I enjoyed all the characters. In the first one, I could not stand Mace pretty much for the first half. When he went on the Caravan, he was a lot better. But until then, I was sort of just sitting there saying, was this guy cast because he looks sort of like Mark Hamill as a 12-year-old?
Yes, he was. They actually got rid of the original actor to hire this guy.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep.
I didn't realize we're gonna poo-poo Mace on this stream.
Listen, he sucked. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, you guys
suck as an actor, sir.
Oh
I would say he wasn't the greatest in the first half. When he goes on the Caravan, he's good, and the little girl Sindel was not great either.
No, we cannot have any negative Sindel comments.
He does that fake cough.
Oh my God.
She says, "I feel sick."
Oh my goodness! This is a disaster.
It was just not.
I'm already on the bottom, so you can't put me.
Oh, I have to put everybody on the bottom.
Not the best, man. I'll take Quaker Oats over those two any day.
Oh my goodness!
I do like Teak a lot. I love he's fast. Like I love that whole thing.
That's cool.
And he's trying to eat the pies. No, I liked it better. Like the Gorax wasn't a character. Like at least, Lurch, because it was Lurch from the Addams Family and all that makeup as Terran or whatever. At least,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's Carol Strucken or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He was at least a character. He wasn't just a monster at the end of a maze, which is basically what the Gorax was. I don't know. I enjoyed the characters in Battle for Endor better. I was into Wilford Brimley. I was actually hoping his partner would be alive at the end, and he wasn't. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And Sindel, I thought was just better in the second one as well, all the way through, not just better as the movie went on. So
right. Okay. So Battle for Endor. I'm going to go last on this one, and let's see if you guys disappoint me. Again, like you did before. Okay, John, you can go next. Which one had better? I know what John's going to pick because you're shilling for one of these movies hard. But go ahead.
No, see, you think you know?
Oh my God! Oh,
I'm going to go with Caravan of Courage.
Are you serious?
There you
go.
Oh, good job! You've done well.
Listen, this is a best of 5 series, so you like the Yankees won one, like Caravan had to win one in my book.
Yeah. Okay, Caravan. Yeah.
And here's why. So again, Wilford Brimley, I'm a fan of, and it was funny how a lot of people thought he was dead way before he finally died. A couple years ago.
You're right.
He's one of, and I'm sorry, but there's a lot of times people die, and you're like, I thought he was already dead. You don't want to make it sound bad or anything, but yeah, he was a fun character, and then J-Man, you're complaining how he was like, oh, I hate these kids, oh, I love these kids, and it's like, but it's Wilford Brimley, you can't, and then you just
no, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about it.
Then you just think of Hard Target,
right.
So, but
that was the same character. That's the same universe.
Here's why I like Caravan of Courage better, because again, you had the different Ewoks, different character Ewoks. I like Deej. You got to meet Wicked's dad, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Again, Mace. It's not because of Mace. Like I said, he totally almost tanked the movie for me while I was watching it yesterday. I was like, he's just not that great of an actor, and they almost killed it for me. But and I'll tell you what, Burl Ives narrates this.
Burl Ives.
It was like watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with my kids, because we watch it every year, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, because Burl Ives narrates and sings through it. I'm like that just struck me, as a dad and everything. So it's just that's another reason. So I got to go with the Ewoks. I love the new Ewoks they introduced. I love the names that they thought of for the Ewoks. Wendell, or what was what was the one with the axe? Turk Tuck or something? I'm like, who thought of that name?
It was long. I think it was long. Yeah. But
I mean, aside from Mace, I was a fan of all the new Ewoks that they introduced, and and Burl Ives. You can't go wrong with Burl Ives. So,
yeah. Okay, I'll go. Okay, Sean, which one had the better characters?
I think the temptation would be battle, but like I'm gonna go with Caravan of Courage because I feel there are more character moments in Caravan of Courage to me. I like Deej, the
Yes,
father
see?
of Wicket and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I like the little moment where the Ewok mother is looking at the kids and crying and stuff, and then Deej hugs her and all that. I like the end where the human father bonds with Deej. It's like, we love our sons or whatever. It's like, that's awesome. I like the axe guy is awesome, and he has a whole arc. It's like there's more. That axe guy is.
You just want to see a whole movie with Turk in it.
I would.
Yeah.
It's a little person in a fur outfit with like a terrible mask on, and there's way more heart and character and personality to that thing than anything in the sequels.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like when he dies and like Mace is mega crying.
Yeah.
Like,
that was awesome. And then he gets the weapon.
And he gives him the axe. Yeah,
that's pumped up.
There's that other lady too, the woman Ewok that joins them and stuff.
Yeah.
She's like the big priestess or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. There's a lot of cool character things in Caravan of Courage that saves the characters for me. I mean, I know there are fewer characters that are more endearing as a result in Battle for Endor. But like I like Teak, he's cool, and that they gave him a superpower is cool. Made him more endearing that way, right? Mm-hmm. But no, I like all the characters in Caravan of Courage. I like that whole caravan; they're great. So yeah.
All right, I'll go next. I'm gonna say Caravan, but it's close because I do like everybody. I actually like all the characters. I like all the characters. I was okay with Mace. Listen, this kid's got a lot of shit to do. He's doing the best he can with what he has. They're giving him rocks and all this kind of bullshit. It's like, listen, guys, I gotta get my parents. I don't got time for these.
You gotta deliver the line, man. You got.
I liked him, but no. Okay, well, Sindel's my third favorite Star Wars character. Just that's. so that's it. I'm gonna make my top 10.
Had pretty hair. What can I say?
I love Sindel. She was the best. She's super cute. She's cute in both movies. If she was my daughter, I'd be very proud of Sindel. She got shit done. She took the keys away. They're gonna rescue that woman. She's like, no, don't rescue her. She's trash.
Yeah, that was cool.
You're right. Exactly. Listen, she's getting stuff done in her life. She's not sitting there crying. Look. Well, I mean, obviously she's not my third favorite character. But joking aside, though, I hate to say, you haven't watched all these shows. But if you've watched all of the Disney Star Wars shows, and you'll see it's like you care way more about what's going on with her than anyone else. And the latest one was Acolyte, unfortunately, but it did have the girls in it. There's twin. Well, I think it's one girl playing. I don't know if they're twins or if it's one girl playing both characters. I don't really care. Whatever it is, that person, is it Osha? Yeah, Osha is somebody. Osha and May, that's the two names. They're awful, and they're terrible characters, and you don't believe for 1 second that anything's going on. There's zero care, like I'm talking like zero caring. Like it's crazy. And as Sean was saying, Kid Leia, yeah,
Kenobi. Terrible.
Yeah, Kid Leia, yeah. What the heck? Like visually, she looked good. I saw the pictures, and I thought, this looks like a good Carrie Fisher kid or whatever, right? Yeah.
And Sindel didn't know how to just magically do shit, right? Like Princess Leia was like a fucking electrician at like
I hate that.
Osha had an escape hatch in her room to escape fire and knew how to activate that.
Exactly right. Yeah, this is wonky shit. Sindel's a real character. You felt bad for her. She was crying and she was upset, but then she got shit done when it was time to get shit done towards the end. It's like, okay, I'm that's how movies work. Remember that director of Acolyte? Have you seen other movies? Like this is I don't think they've seen other. And people are saying, they're not looking at Star Wars canon. No, they're not watching any movies. They're not watching Star Wars movies.
It will be better than the Skeleton Crew too. I'm sure.
100%, 100%. But yeah, no, I'm going to say Caravan of Courage just because there's more Ewok characters that I like. I like the two kids teaming up with Ewok characters that I like. I like that priestess woman. She's friggin' wicked. I like Wicket. I like Wicket. I like Deej. It's like how Deej is like he's waiting for the kids and they're being all dicks and they're like, you know, farting around. And that's what kids do. It's like, yo, are you coming to dinner or what? And he's going out to get them. They're like, where are these punks? And then they're like, they're falling all over each other. He's like, let's go. Then he's got to get the friggin'. Then he makes like that jet glider thing. It was like the guy's making friggin' vehicles, and then he's going to get them. And that axe guy, that's your big barbarian character. It's D&D. If it's D&D, I'm gonna be into it. So they pick up this guy. It's like, and he's like, oh, this guy doesn't want to come along with us. Screw him. It's like, no, I'm coming. And then who's gonna get this? Who's gonna get this weapon? It's like, oh, that woman's gonna get it. Man, it's awesome. Like getting those guys together to go on a mission is super pumped. It's the Expendables Ewoks or whatever. So I like, but you know, I do like Wilford Brimley in thing, and he's a good guy, and you know he felt bad that his friend died or whatever, and then he had to get the battery and whatnot. There's that other battery. That's kind of neat. The villains were okay. The Raven woman, like she's all right, but I'm not as pumped because the thing is you lost all your guys. Like as soon as Deej and those guys got kidnapped, I was like, oh, and there's no Logray and all. Like they all got kind of kidnapped and they're just gone. And then it was just the adventures of Sindel and Wicket. I'm like, well, I like both of those characters. They're my two favorites of this series, but I want the other guys with them. I thought maybe they could go and get other guys. Like, okay, now we need to go to this. They could have went to this other village. There's like an outskirts village or something where they come and they're like, oh, we need your help now to go rescue the other Ewoks. And they could be like, no, you guys didn't want to barter with us or some shit. And then they're like, no, but we need these guys. And then they friggin' team up. They team up, and then maybe the Ewoks in that village are all like white fur or something, or like I don't know, like something else. Like they look different. They can team up, and then they go together. So it's new guys teaming up to do another mission. I'm writing this better than all Disney Star Wars right now live for everybody. So take note. They all team up to go rescue these guys and have like a massive battle at the end with the guys they rescued, the new Ewoks that we haven't seen before, and Sindel, and you got to have Mace. I don't know, that poor guy being dead, that sucks.
And throwing some Wookiees, goddammit.
No, I like look, Chewbacca's awesome. Everybody loves Chewbacca, but like the Ewoks got it. I like that the Ewoks are taking care of their own shit, and they do what they gotta do. Those Ewoks are tall Ewoks. No, I don't want tall Ewoks. I want them to. They could be a bit taller. They could be like maybe like dwarves, and then like the current Ewoks are like
hobbits.
Like the hobbits.
The whole thing is that they're short and they can still kick ass because you know I'm short and I'm a third-degree black belt, so it's like.
So I'm gonna say the Caravan. All right, so Purist, you're last on this category. What do you? Which one do you think has the better characters?
I think I'm gonna go Caravan also, and I do though, like contrary to everyone else, I do think Sindel and her acting's way better in the second movie than the first one. I would
for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely better. It's definitely
older. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, so you have the convenience of Wicket being able to speak basic all of a sudden in the second one, and I think the fact that the Ewoks didn't do that in the first one did make the characters more like they had to be more animated to like convey stuff and all that. So I think it made their characters that much better.
That's a good point.
And again, you do spend more time with it in the beginning. Everyone gets smoked in Battle of Endor, and even though you're like learning some of the new characters, like I don't know, I think the first one's just definitely better. Now I do like the Night Sister, chick, and I do think Turok, the villain, I think he's decent. You know what I'm saying? They did a really good job on his costuming and all that. You could tell. And then they have the minions and all that, but they don't have any personality or anything like that. Only he does, like as the leader. And I did like the little duel at the end.
Wilford Brimley got down in there. Yeah.
But yeah, like the character moments are definitely a lot bigger, I think, in the first. I mean, again, the part where the dad's dying and all that stuff, like that's good stuff. That's why they brought in that actor, right, to do that role.
Yeah. Like, let's
as
bring
opposed to the dad in the first one.
That's all we did.
Yeah, I'll go with Caravan for sure.
All right, so before we get to the last category, let's do a recap. This is close, it's 2-2. So we had the story. Me, Steven, and Sean all liked Caravan better, and then Purist and John liked Battle for Endor more. So Caravan won that category 3-2. For the pacing, Purist and Sean both went with Caravan, and the rest of us went for Battle for Endor. So that was a 3-2, very close again, as close as you can make it for Battle for Endor 1. So that was 1 each. Artistry clean sweep. Everyone picked Battle for Endor. I think that was the obvious one for me. I knew that was going to be very obvious. I can't really see anyone saying the other one looked better. So Battle won that one. Caravan was 4-1. Steve picked Battle. Everyone else picked Caravan. So that's 2 for Battle, 2 for Caravan. So it's up to the enjoyment factor. For the enjoyment factor, the way that works is it doesn't matter. You don't have to. It could be. I thought Sindel's acting was better, so I like part 2 better because that's just what I thought. Like, that's it. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to justify yourself. It's like, you could just be like, I like the Battle for Endor title better because it sounds cooler. Like, I like the poster better. I don't know. It could be any reason you want.
Who was the guy in the poster for Battle Endor?
Nobody.
It's not Wilford Brimley, I'll tell you.
No, once we have a winner, we'll do the last little bit. We'll take a look at some of the stuff from there.
But Wilford Brimley erasure.
Oh no, Sean, this is terrible. We've just discovered. Well, maybe he had an ancient. One of his ancestors was like Native or African or something, and they just erased him.
I would say it's young Wilford Brimley, but I don't think we've ever seen a young Wilford Brimley in anything.
No, he never existed.
It's like B. Arthur. It's
he started acting.
Yeah, Benjamin Button was based on Wilford Brimley.
Yeah,
that was a true story.
That makes sense.
Yeah, B. Arthur was never young.
No, she was discovered on TV in her 50s. Wow. She was on stage until Maude. And then Maude was like her big break when she was in the 50s.
I like Maude. It's fine.
Maude and Golden Girls. There you go.
I like Golden Girls as well. So there you go. All right, but Sindel is now officially my 3rd favorite Star Wars character. I'm going to post it's going to be like it'll be like Luke, Lando, Sindel, Darth Vader. Like what? Like
that's going to be my Twitter meme when everybody starts talking about all the don't attack the kids and
they don't. I know this is silly. Kids do suck, and when they don't suck, I really like them. So I'm very if the kids suck, I hate them. I'm very not polarized. Yeah, like if they're good, I super love them. Like Tim in Phantasm 3, one of the best kids ever. I just pulled that out of the air because I just love Phantasm. But the Tim in Phantasm 3 with a frisbee of razor blades, that was the friggin' best. And he had his dad's revolver and he was shooting the zombies and stuff. I was like, this kid's the goddamn best kid ever. He's great. Sindel's great. If the kids are cool, then I really like them because I think it's neat to have kids like, going on adventures with you and stuff like that. But if they're bad, they're awful, and then I despise them and I just hate them.
Yeah, think of like Dakota Fanning and Man on Fire, right? Natalie Portman and Leon the Professional. Like, so it could be done.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, and like but that was because you know what the thing is, you have to write them as a character, not write them as a kid.
Yeah.
Yep. And the way they write it now, and I do like Home Alone. I don't like the last 10 minutes where he's fighting the guys, but up until then, I do think it's a fun movie. But that movie ruined a lot of stuff because now after that's like every kid has to be like smarmy and clever and smart and like no, that these kids. Kevin. Yeah, that was just Kevin. It's like kids are dumb. It's like and people keep saying kids are smarter. That's a lie. It's such a lie. They're dumb. They know how to use iPads, but they don't know anything else. It's like I've seen them. Not kids. I mean, obviously the parents are bringing them up, fine and all that. But like, I mean, they don't know anything. It's like they just know how to use the iPad. Well, the iPad's not going to help you in your day job. Like, go, get a job or whatever. Anyway, sorry, rant on children. Okay. What's he saying? It was awesome and hard to. Yes, I agree. He was cool. Dude, I can't. No, nobody's cooler than Van Damme. It's been proven. I proved it on another stream.
Mathematically,
I did prove it. Yeah, I proved it already. Sorry, dude. But other than that, yes, Wilford Brimley was very cool, and he spoke French. He's like,
yeah.
All right. Okay, so enjoyment factor. Does anyone want to go first? John, you want to go first?
Sure. Well, obviously, you know which one I'm going to pick.
Well, judging by your score here, I'm going to say it's
two big reasons. One, like I said, Battle for Endor was more like a Star Wars movie. You know, I love, you know, the battle sequences. I love that it was a kid's film and like it was like pretty savage. And Mace had 33 seconds of screen time. So there you go. Bingo.
Arthur was in a Star Wars thing, so
short and sweet. There. Listen, I love Cindel was great. Like I said, her acting way better than the second one. I agree with that 120%. And I love her arc, and I love how, you know, J-Man, you brought up, you said it all. But listen, he looks like Mark Hamill. I get it, but I just was not a fan watching him the second time around. So I apologize. So, but yeah,
he speaks loudly.
Battle for Endor definitely was more like a Star Wars movie in every aspect for me, and it brought back, it brought back memories of Return of the Jedi. Like I said, the ending was a total, like, you know, homage to the ending of Return of the. I mean, it was only a year late or 2 years later that it came out, but still, I mean, it sold it for me.
Right. All right, Steve, which one do you like better?
Yeah, Battle for Endor. It's pretty much the same reason as John. It felt more like a Star Wars thing. It just moved better for me. I was into it more. I liked all the action. It's pretty much been said, but like that's the reasons why.
Yep.
Okay. Sean, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with Caravan of Courage, because there's more Ewoks in my Ewok movie, so there's that. I like the Ewok characters. I was really into the cartoon as well, and it feels more a part of that world with Deej and everything, and those little fairies that were in the cartoon.
Yeah,
they were in 2 of the episodes, and they were in the opening intro for the season 2. So they're it's like it's all part of one thing, and I feel like I'm watching the world of like the Ewoks with that. I know Battle for Endor feels more Star Warsy with the blasters and the aliens and all that stuff, but I feel more connected to Caravan of Courage. There's just more cool stuff. It feels like the serials that George Lucas was trying to emulate with Star Wars, in that there's something happens all the time that leads to one thing, leads to another thing. It has more of that pulp feel to me, of like an adventure leads to another adventure, leads to another adventure. With that whole like getting that thing for Sindel in the beginning with monsters, and then they fight more monsters later. It's so cool, right? So, and I find myself going back to that one more than Battle for Endor. Battle for Endor is awesome, but I think I enjoy Caravan of Courage more.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, Sean, on that one too. Exact same reasons. Like, I like those serials and all. Like, I liked the same things that George Lucas liked, right? Like those serials and Buck Rogers and Flash, when we own them all, right? We have all, you know, it's like that's the kind of stuff that we liked, and that felt more like that. But Battle for Endor is awesome. Yeah, it is tough because Battle for Endor, it's weird. Battle for Endor feels more Star Wars-ish, but Caravan feels more like D&D / like, you know, it's an Ewok thing. It is about the Ewoks. Like Battle for Endor is more like, we're giving you some Ewok stuff, but we're giving you some Star Wars stuff as well. And then Caravan is like, we're just giving you some Ewok stuff, and let's, you know, what you think about it. And do you want an Ewoks pure movie, or do you want a Star Wars movie that has a lot of Ewok stuff in it? That's sort of where you're at. So on whatever day it is, I could really flip a coin easily. Like, let's watch Battle for Endor. Screw it. Let's watch, you know. Sindel's acting is I guess it's better, but I liked her in both movies. Mace is loud. In the beginning, but he's, you know, taking care of his sister and all that. I like getting the potion and all, you know, getting little things, and it's got that, you can see where the swipes are going to be. Like if it was a serial, you could see where the chapter's going to be. Mace, I'm sick. Will Sindel, you know, like get back, and then they do that. Then they do the recap, and it's like they'll show like a still picture of Sindel. Have you guys seen random? There's a guy that did all the real Star Wars movies, the 6 of them, the real Star Wars movies as silent movie serials.
Oh,
with the cards and all that.
With the cards and all that. Yeah, I've got those. It's look them up. It's free downloaded because it's a fan edit. So look up. It's like silent, and they're silent. I was like, first of all, the prequels were fucking awesome. I was like, holy shit! They should have released this. It was like super because they're all 1 hour long. So it's
Jar Jar doesn't talk then, right?
There's no Jar Jar. Yeah. Oh, did you see the guy? Oh my God, the guy who subtitled Jar Jar. He took the Japanese audio. He took because in Japan they dubbed Jar Jar. This guy took the Japanese audio and put it over Jar Jar's voice and made him a subtitled character. Holy shit. It's
much better.
All of that, all the negative stuff is gone. Because Jar Jar looks cool. Like he's still a wonky, he's still clumsy, but he's a clumsy guy. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like he looks neat. Like kids like him. He looks neat. He looks like a fun character. And then once the subtitles, like, whoa, this is like way better. And he changed a little bit of the dialogue so that it's not, he's not like stupid. He's not as stupid.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me. Yeah. Like, so it's not, but if you're reading it, if it's like, and it's like, excuse me, I got, or I need help or whatever, like it's awesome. Anyways, I'm going to go with Caravan of Courage, and I'm going to let Purist have the last. Yeah. So, I can't believe.
No pressure, huh?
No pressure. You're the last one,
then, right?
This is the time. Yeah. Oh, you see it?
This is the tiebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the tiebreaker of the category, the tiebreaker of the whole thing. And you see how nice I am. I leave it to the first appearance guest.
I was gonna say this is the first time. This is what you do to him. Good job.
No, this is a gift. This is Christmas.
This is almost like Sean McCrow.
You have the power.
Yeah. I set it up for G-Man to.
You set it up for me to kill it. All right, Purist, what do you think? Which one do you like? It doesn't matter. Which one do you like more? They're both good.
They're both fun. I think the second one is more fun. Like, yeah, again, feels more Star Wars. The Ewoks are still in it. I would have liked if they just had Wicket still not really speaking basic.
English.
I think would have made his character moments with him probably better. I believe they operate the glider in both movies, right? Which is fun. Like, it was cool seeing that. Because in the second one it's Wicket and her, and then the first one it's Deej, right? Or
Deej is in the
they accidentally launch it. But I mean, there's fun aspects to both of them. Again, the Gorax is cool. I got no problem with that. And and I like the villains in the second one. And I don't know. I would just go with the second one. They're both fun. They're both great. They're both better than Disney Star Wars. That's for sure.
Yeah, like I think the people making them wanted to give you some Ewok adventures, and it's different because like when you acquire a property, you acquired your Star Wars, then you're like, oh, I have to make money on this thing that I've acquired, so we have to start producing. And then when you're getting people that aren't really fans, it's not that they're not fans of Star Wars, they're not fans of old movies. The movies are getting worse because the people watching newer movies it's like a VHS tape. You bought your VHS tape and then someone copied it and copied it and copied it and copied it. And then now we're in the 5th generation of copying. And it's just like, okay, this isn't even Star Wars. Like, what is this? Like, at what point?
There's no frame of reference to where anything came from.
And they have like less life experience. And
less life experience.
A lot of things,
And they're tainted too by the way things are. And we don't talk, this kind of stuff on my channel, but we know what we're talking about with the environment and the way it is. They're tainted by this stuff, and it's tainting their imagination. You used to sit down like if you watch Star Wars, you'd be like, okay, if it had Star Wars on it, you're like, oh wow, this is going to be good because they're not going to put the Star Wars logo on something that's horrendous. And yes, the holiday special is not great. But they made it like a variety show of that time. Like all those shows are cheesy.
I'm a fan, man. It's the guiltiest of pleasures. I guess.
When you bought a video game and it said LucasArts on it, you knew it was good.
Right, like that meant something.
56K dial-up.
The AT-AT Walker game where you're a snowspeeder.
That was bad.
I love that.
That was
cool.
No, but what was the one I had on GameCube? It was where you attack.
What was Battlefront? No, the first.
No. It was you're in the ships. Maybe it's a Rogue something. Maybe it was Rogue Squad. No, it's not Rogue Squad. It's a ship one. It was on GameCube.
X-Wing versus TIE Fighter,
something like that.
They had X-Wing, then had TIE Fighter, and then that X-Wing versus TIE Fighter was the third one. Like they had,
I think it was
many
X-Wing
games.
X-Wing,
so many different like.
Oh, let me share
the
my
weirdest
screen.
thing is Battlefront 2, the original, like the 2000.
Yeah, I have that on PC.
that has that galactic, what's it called, galactic conquest mode or something. To this day, like no game, like video game creator has ever tried to re-emulate that in like any other game, and that's like the badass, like probably the best feature of that game. And it's just weird that they never did it. Oh, Rogue Leader, is that the one?
This is what I. Yo, and you're like you're doing the rope around the thing. I was like, holy shit, this is like the greatest thing ever. Nothing's ever gonna be better than this. And then I had Battlefront 2. I still have it on PC, where you had to put a disc in or whatever. And I was like, yo, this is like freaking cool. Like you're running around. Well, I just played on my own, like, and you could log in at any moment, and everybody was on the servers playing.
Yeah,
and you're like,
the story was great, like on individual mode on Battlefront 2, where you switch, you know, when Order 66s.
Yeah.
Switch sides, like they were just, that's just creative, like, you know, like they.
And what was the
like that anymore?
What's the is it Camino? Is that the raining place where everything's raining? Yeah. Yo, oh shit, we're like, this is like so wicked. Like you're running around like that Jango Fett fight on that in that area was pretty neat. That's the other thing. That's the other thing.
In Attack of the Clones too, yeah.
You know what they've missed? They've missed it. This because you know why? Because these people don't make movies. Here's something they've also missed. They've missed the importance of a scene. Like there's no scenes anymore. Like remember when there was like a scene? Like okay, so okay, so there's like okay, so it's like action, and then there's like dialogue, and then there's acting, and then you're like cool. So it's like when you walk out of everybody knows this. And I've said this millions of times, where it's like everybody knows, even if they don't know the names. You say Star Wars. Oh yeah, I like the one with. There's the one with the ice planet, the Cloud City, which is from Flash Gordon, but whatever. The Cloud City and the swamp area. They don't say Dagobah. They don't say Bespin. They don't say Hoth. They just say, oh, the ice one. And everyone knows that. And then it's like, oh yeah. And then the other one had the forest area and Jabba's palace. And then the other one is like, oh, they were on that space station weapon thingy, the Star Killer or something, whatever they call it. They don't know what the name is. And it's in the desert. So they know the desert, the space station, and then the 3 locations of Empire and the 2 locations of thing. And that's
exactly what Disney tries to do. They go, here's generic ice planet, here's generic
this, right.
And then if you just compare Forest Moon of Endor, right? And the topography is somewhat similar on Naboo, right? But Naboo's a whole nother world, right? They took a lot of time to flesh out the underwater part and the Gungans and the city of Theed, and it's like like they spent a lot of time world building just on that one planet, and that's the care and love that that George put into it versus like, oh, here's generic forest planet number 5.
Right, but nothing happened. The other thing, nothing of significance either. Well, two options. Nothing of significance happens in the location, or something stupid happens.
Yeah.
So in the Acolyte, I'm sorry I keep bringing this up, but it's the only one I really watched the whole way through. I didn't finish Ahsoka. I watched Kenobi. I did finish that one. I finished that one. I don't remember anything about it at all. And I watched the first 6 Ahsokas, and then I watched, how many episodes was that? 8?
It was 8. Yeah.
Wow, that's brutal. I watched 6 episodes, and then I watched that One Piece live action, and then I watched the One Piece live action a second time. Instead of watching the last 2 Ahsokas, I watched.
Right? Yeah, that chewed it up and spat it out, man.
I was reviewing, because I kind of just started my channel. I was reviewing Bad Batch and X-Men '97, and I couldn't keep up. And I'm like, fuck Bad Batch, dude. Like, I'm gonna cover X-Men.
X-Men '97 was fire.
This stuff's paying homage to the source material. You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I gonna waste my time trying to get a video out with this other trash when I can just get to stuff that I like?
Yeah, Bad Batch mentions Mount Tantus. That's about the extent of
it's a perversion of it, and then they have those beasts that are on there are like perversions of what Vornskers are, and like they bastardize stuff left and right. They have like a plant like Sarlacc on that 3rd episode. I even made a thumbnail like, what is this, like the vegan Sarlacc or some shit? They take a concept and then just cut and paste it and try, and then you have a clone that's a female, and then she also has a darker skin melanin count. It's like, that's not how cloning works. Like, you can't, like, for one, just the fact that there's like multiple female clones of a male, that's, I mean, obviously that's for a reason, but it's that's not how cloning works. Like,
no,
I can't.
Well, they're doing that now with the Bala Jakku comics, where it's like, it's basically a poor man's Thrawn. Was it Admiral Adelhard or whatever the hell his name is? It's like,
yes, he was in the Ewok comic. Admiral
Adelhard.
That's a weird name. That's a weird name. I'm going to.
It's odd.
On this one. That's a weird.
Weird.
That's a weird name.
That's just weird.
But the Ewok comic was pretty neat. Is it on Read All? Let's see. Did you guys?
I was gonna say, like, it seems Hasbro struggles for ideas to put their vintage line into. Like they do Acolyte 5 POA and all that. Why wouldn't they? I don't know where the rights are for these movies, but why wouldn't they do 5 POA for these movies? Like I want a Tarek. I want a Noah. I want, Sindel and the Ewoks, man. Like, that would be cool.
Let's say Caravan of Carnage.
Yeah.
The Caravan of Carnage, yeah.
Hey, all right.
What the hell's going on? I lost my mouse here. 1 second. Did my battery run out?
Dangers from the stars.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
No, I lost my mouse. 1 second.
Do you have a trackpad or something? Or?
Well, I've got other. Oh, there it goes. It's back. Okay, it's back.
Yeah, mine did.
It's back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like, there's they show you that part.
It's like 1 hour after Return of the Jedi or something.
Yeah. And here come these guys. Yeah, and here's this guy, hard ass or whatever.
Hard, yeah. And there's some random guy, and he's like, "I'll get this weapons cache for you. I know on the Endor forest." So there you go.
But hold on a second. Then 4 LOM and this guy's cool. I like this.
Yeah, the big outsider Ewok.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. He's like the I don't want to hang around you.
I thought this was a good comic. I haven't read issue.
I liked it.
Yet, but, yeah.
Issue 2's not out yet.
Yeah, so 4 LOM. And I always said 4 LOM because I didn't know any better.
That's what I always said too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it said LOM in here. I was like, oh.
It's like AT-AT. It's like
AT-AT,
the Kenner commercials called it an AT-AT. That's how I'll call it for the rest of my life.
Well, it's not that?
Right.
It's an AT-AT.
Oh,
yeah.
Whatever.
I know.
Just like Thanos, right? Everybody who was reading like the Infinity Gauntlet in the 90s called him Thanos, right? Even if in the Silver Surfer cartoon it was Thanos and Starlin clarified, like nobody gave a shit, right? Like
I couldn't pronounce half those guys. I said Galactus or something for like the longest time until someone was like Galactus or it was like
Annihilus.
Galactus.
Galactus. No, I got for some reason I got Annihilus correct just by accident.
Yeah,
I had that one right by accident.
Who's
Annihilus,
that?
Like a giant fly. What is that? Who's that?
Yeah, look at here's
the big like mysterious Ewok or whatever.
Yeah, who's that? It's like, oh my god. And then there's this monster.
So
there it is. There's the monster from
Courage.
Yeah, that's the Caravan of Courage.
It's the
monster.
whole thing inside the mouth or whatever. Yeah.
But again, why did you quote unquote decanonize it if you're going to use it? You should just.
I know it's so stupid. Right? Yeah.
Well, if I was doing a new thing, I would have Sindel be like a grown up living in the Ewok village, like helping take care of them and stuff, and then maybe have some like poachers come to kill Ewoks, and then they got these droids, and then all of a sudden Mace is like shooting the. Like Mace would still be alive, and he would like be shooting the droids and killing them all off and stuff. And then Sindel's like taking care of the Ewoks and like helping with the childbirth or something with them. I don't know.
That's the one thing you just brought that up. I thought
Sindel the midwife
should have stayed at the end. It should have stayed with the Ewoks.
Yeah, no, she'd be she should have stayed. No, she'd be a midwife, but then she would like do other stuff. Like she was like kind of like a bit smarter, and then Mace was like the big like gung-ho guy who's going out to like shoot everybody and whatever like that would have been cool to have them continue. And I know they made her a reporter in that other thing. I was like it's like I don't know, make her something cooler. But this comic,
they made her like Lois Lane. Is that what you're?
She was Lois Lane. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Wicked's not going to take out these two guys. I don't think that's not going to happen.
It's Caravan of Carnage.
Oh, that's what they should have called it. Yeah. Oh, it says Caravan of Carnage. It says Caravan of Carnage. It says Caravan of Carnage.
Yeah.
Caravan.
Look, he's stepping on a stormtrooper.
No, this comic was okay.
This is the 40th anniversary, of Caravan of Courage, 1984.
Yeah, you're correct.
What month was it? Does anyone know?
Oh, I don't know.
Nope. You can. Someone.
November. It's November 25th. So we're almost there.
Wow, pretty good. We should have
right now. There you go.
Should have waited, J-Man. We
should have waited.
J-Man planned all this, by the way.
I planned it all. That's exactly.
We gotta do the thing.
You guys gotta watch this like ASAP, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be.
No, I'm not doing it, man. You took the bullet for me.
I think you know what I honestly though I lied. We're all just pulling your leg. It's actually pretty awesome. But you have the thing is you have to watch all of it to really understand. It's going to be weird in the beginning, but then by the end it super makes sense. And
no, I saw the rest of it. I saw the whole thing. It's I guess it's disappointing that like something like that went so far and was and had so much money poured into it. It's what not to do. Like it should be taught in class. What not to
should
do,
be. That's what I'm saying to watch it.
Like characters, as you said, characters' motivations shift in a scene. Which is a huge no-no in any storytelling.
Are
you
you
go back
to
freaking
we're just to beat up the Acolyte. I never did any.
I haven't seen it, but I remember when they said there wasn't going to be a season 2, and I just laughed. I was like,
I remember laughing at that too without even seeing.
I was going to text J-Man actually. I'd be like, J-Man.
But there wasn't a season 1.
Names. So
yeah, you're going to have a season 1 for a season 2, right?
I call him Shang Tsung because he looks like D.A. Shang Tsung from the Mortal Kombat movie, right? So, but like nobody knew he was like the Acolyte, right? Like it was this big surprise they try to play. It's kind of like on Agatha, right? Like we didn't know. I call him not Wiccan because like nobody knew it was going to be Wiccan and shit, even though we all fucking knew. So like, yeah, they think they're like pulling a fast one, and it's like the writing's on the wall.
No, Sean called in Acolyte the bad guy. I don't know the name. Sean called it, and this is yeah. And I was like, there's no way because that's the I was like that guy's.
That's what I said when they were on the thing walking together on their caravan. I'm like, yeah, they're trying to make it look like I'm like either you're gonna look like the biggest dumbass for thinking there is, or you just know that they're the biggest dumbasses, and we already know that that's exactly what they're doing.
Right.
Sean's like, just wait, hear me out. Just keep watching.
No, that guy is from The Good Place, so they wouldn't hire him for no reason, right? And I was like, that guy is totally the bad guy. And he's acting overly goofy, so it's like, the twist is like that the bad guy isn't that goofy, right? You know, it's like, shut up. And I've seen TV shows before. Who are you making this for? God damn.
No, but it's not subtle. Like it would be like Jar Jar Binks, you know how they say, and then Jar Jar Binks becomes the bad guy. It's like they made this guy so goofy and stupid that if he's the bad guy, it undermines the thing, not makes it cooler. Like when Darth Maul, here's the other thing too. They don't know how to design anybody or make them threatening. When Darth Maul showed up, I don't care who you are. I didn't like Phantom Menace and whatever. That's fine. Yeah, but Darth Maul.
That's what I said. I was like, it was
like he was the packaging.
He's the packaging.
Yeah, for all those card backs.
The whole branding was.
It was him.
All the card.
Color scheme was the branding for episode 1.
Episode 1 branding was full on him, and the card backs they're die cut because I work in paper.
Yeah, his head is
because the horns. His head is the thing. I was like, shit, they're putting a lot into this guy. And like when he showed up, and then he had the double lightsabers. I mean, you've seen it all now, but back then we're like,
back then that was the shit. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that was
when the doors open up,
and
he does his move, he does his pose. I was like, I hate the rest. I hate the rest of this movie, but you know what? The next 10 minutes is gonna be awesome. Like,
when Acolyte dropped, you had Smilo Ren, people were calling him. And then I called him Darth Gimpus because he looked like the fucking Gimp from fucking Pulp Fiction. You know? I mean, like, that's literally what he looked like. Like, that's not striking fear in your audience, you know? I mean,
or how about
joke?
How about People Under the Stairs? What's his name? Oh God, Warrington Gillette, is that his name? What's the bad guy's name? John in Under Siege 2, you know. The actor.
Not Eric Bogosian.
No, not Eric Bogosian.
No, the other guy, the head mercenary guy.
Wasn't that Warrington Gillette?
No. I know who you're talking about. He was in Silver Bullet as the priest.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't forget.
Yeah, what was
look it up.
Yeah, there he is. Look.
Everett McGill.
Everett McGill. That's it. I knew it was a weird name. Yeah, look, it's the new Sith Lord or whatever from.
Right.
Well, that looks cooler, actually.
It does look cooler. That's what, plus, he was awesome in this. He was insane.
Burn in hell. Yeah.
Burn in hell. Yeah,
I love that movie.
Yeah, I know that movie's great. We got to do a People Under the Stairs. People Under the Stairs is better than Acolyte. No. Well, it is, obviously.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan or something.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah.
Well, who's the ghost woman? Oh, this woman. So there's this ghost woman. Sean, did you see the full? Did you see
Yeah,
Spoiling
she
it for
turned
me.
this thing.
Stop
And,
it.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I swear to God, they show up. The guys show up, and the two kids. One of the kids is like, "I want to be a Jedi," and the other kid's like, "No, I want to stay on this loser planet and wear black hoods or something." Obviously, anybody would want to be a Jedi. So the one kid saw the Jedi, and she's like, "Okay, I want to be a Jedi because they're obviously cool, and you guys are suck." And the other girl's like, "No, I want to remain here and do nothing and chant and whatever." So somebody forgot to tell the writers that when an audience sees people all in black and hoods chanting, that usually equals bad guys.
Yeah.
Usually. So anyways, they're supposed to not be bad guys. I think they're supposed to be gray area people. But anyways, so they show up to take the kids. The one kid wants to go, and then they're like, "Okay, we're gonna take the kid or whatever." And then this ghost woman, she's like, "No, you can't take my effing kids. I'll kill you and I'll burn in hell and all this crap." And the guy's like, "Okay, well, whatever." And then she turns into this mist creature, and then the Squid Game guy stabs. It's smoke, so he stabs. I swear, this is not a joke. He stabs the smoke, and then she's dead. And then she's like, "Oh, I was gonna let you take them. I was gonna let you take the kids." What? You literally said, "No, you're not. Can't take them." Then you turned into a monster to attack me. Then I stabbed you, and I thought you could survive because he thought that all black females can survive lightsaber stabs because of the other show. The other girl survived, so he thought that she could survive. Yeah. Reva survived, and she was corporeal. This is not. She wasn't. This one's a mist.
I mean, really, everyone except for Qui-Gon survived.
Everyone for Qui-Gon gets her. So he stopped. Yeah, because the Asian girl survived, and she ate whatever the other one. I don't know who she is. So she survived too. But anyways, so he stabs her. She said, "I was going to let you take him." Like, is this a real show? I embellished it a little bit, but you watch that scene, it's exactly what it's like. It's so weird. You're like, is this a joke? And
then they bastardize everything. The force is called the thread, and they try to like recontextualize everything basically.
Yeah, why didn't they show this? Okay, so Sean, so you saw the whole thing now. Why didn't they show this? My idea was that why didn't they show this woman, if this is the leader woman, this ghost woman, why didn't they show her with the Jedi? Because I don't understand what's a bad use. To me, it's like, so I was saying, like, what if there was like a hostage situation or something, and the Jedi all show up and they're gonna kill this kid, and then this woman's like, well, we have to stop them. And maybe she tries to use the choking, and the choking is a bad guy thing, right? So she uses the choking. And then the guys get choked.
I know, but you're hold on. You're plugging logic into this. That's the problem.
I was so stunned. Like,
it's all agenda. No, it's all agenda. What it is basically the story's supposed to be these ladies are minding their own business, doing what they want to do the way they want to do it. The Jedi don't like the way they want to do it due to some sort of law that says that they can just barge into someone's private space and tell them what to do the real way, the real Jedi way. All of this is a contrivance. Like, where is it said that the Jedi are the Gestapo all of a sudden? Like, we don't know them as that from the other movies, you know. But here, all of a sudden,
thing from the prequels, and they're ramping it up times 100.
Yeah, and it's like, you can't do it this way. It's like, where is the rule and law of this? That's the cognitive dissonance of this show, because you can't connect to it because it's making up its own bullshit, and it doesn't make sense in the grander universe that you know of from like 1977 onward.
It's kind of like revisionist history, right? Like, so Robin Hood, like, what do you ask anyone now, what does Robin Hood symbolize? And everyone says steal from the rich, give to the poor, but actually Robin Hood was take from the government and give to the people, right? So it's kind of the same thing. The Jedi, their fall in the prequels is they got tied up into the bureaucracy and being part of the Senate and all that, instead of being their own selves and individualism and stuff like that. So that's the real point George was trying to get to, not that they were pieces of shit that were going around taking people from everywhere as the Gestapo, like you're saying.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was the problem with High Republic. That was the problem with all that. And they seem to think that all along the Jedi were bad, and that's Disney Star Wars.
That's
Yeah,
what they're trying
yes,
to
I read some of the High
recontextualize it.
Republic. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they're not even heroic Jedi Knights in that, and it's supposed to be the Golden Age, and it's like what? And they suck too. They get their ass handed to them all the time.
Oh, I can't stand.
Yeah.
I can't. I go by the drag. You got to go by Dragon Ball rules. Dragon Ball rules is like, okay, if this guy defeated this guy, then this guy can defeat that guy. If that guy defeated him, so I'm watching the Acolyte, and then that the one bad woman comes and kicks the crap out of Carrie-Anne Moss. I was like, okay, so this bad woman is better, and then you in your mind you're like, she's good. But then the X-23,
she can't beat X-23 pad.
Yeah, right. So then I'm like, oh, that means X-23 can defeat Carrie-Anne Moss, right? And then it's like, that's a nerd thing. Don't they know this? Everybody knows that the nerds do. This is what nerds do all day. Could Darth Maul beat Obi-Wan, or could Darth Maul beat old Obi-Wan? Could Count Dooku defeat Darth Maul? This is what nerds do all the time. It's like, and in the same show, we're seeing it wrong. It's like, I don't get it. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. Sean speaking 10. Wow.
1,000%.
The
problem is,
listen,
that's mathematically impossible.
When you get to 10,000%,
oh, sorry, wrong one.
Now it's just like, it's over, Johnny. It's
10,000.
George
10,000% truth is beyond.
Away for billions.
Now we're talking like the commandments on the mount coming down, basically coming out of Sean's mouth. So,
and here are the 15. 10 commandments.
Oh, I love that scene. That was so funny. That was so funny. That's a classic scene. Here's the 15. Oh shit. Oh well, there's just 10.
But the thing is, they think they need to make it fresh, and they think they're making it innovative, and they're doing all this weird shit and this new shit, and it's like you don't have to, because the lore and the legacy of it's good enough. And George made his mistake. Like he got his payday. He signed it to Disney. And then they're just like, all right, here we go. Trust me, we're not going to do anything to your.
But Kathleen Kennedy is like that. I call her Judas, like literally, because she had been riding him and Steven Spielberg's coattails for decades, like decades, right? So you would think, like, if he's making that decision to entrust her, I highly doubt he really thought she was going to stab him in the back like that. Like,
no, I don't think he would have thought that.
Well, nobody.
But they're incapable of making good content. So even if you ignore the lore, like, let's make it accessible to new audiences. Yeah, but it sucks anyway. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm bringing it back. Okay, purists, you're way more knowledgeable than I am, and Sean is more knowledgeable than I am as well. I'm not. When I say regular Star Wars character, guy, I have almost every vintage action figure. I'm only missing Blue Snaggle, like the big ones that nobody has. So like, I have almost all the toys. I've got, I've got all the movies. I have an entire like shelf. So I have like so many Star Wars toys. It's like outrageously stupid.
You're way ahead of the curve than most.
Right. So yeah, but for me, I just want regular entertainment. Like, and I'm not even watching to hate watch it. I'm not a clickbait guy. I'm not watching it to hate watch it. I loved a lot of movies that people absolutely despised. Yeah. I did not hate, like, I didn't absolutely
like 80s horror. Yeah.
I love 80s horror, but like, I mean,
that just isn't that good, but the effort's there, and like the storytelling.
But yeah, no, I love a lot. Well, I like movies that everyone like. I like Wonder Woman 1984. Everyone hates that movie and thinks it's trash. I really liked it. I don't know what to tell you. I liked it. It's like, but I hate Eternals. I hate Black Panther too. So sometimes I'm with these people, sometimes I'm not. I go by my own way. What I see, if I see something I like it. I'm not seeing anything I like. People are saying Obi-Wan doesn't make sense. And this, and I was like, yeah, who cares? It's boring. It's crap. Nothing's going on. Obi-Wan, first episode, that girl Princess Leia gets kidnapped. Obi-Wan should have came in and kicked ass and rescued her immediately. Like, I would have had it to then say, okay, if Obi-Wan is watching out for Luke, they call him and say, hey, listen, Leia's been kidnapped. Okay, he friggin' gets into the thing, flies in, kicks the shit out of the bad guys, rescues her, and she doesn't even know who he is. He rescues her in 2 seconds, puts her back, and then that episode ends with him going right back to where he was. But this is the whole like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything. I hate when someone doesn't feel like doing stuff. This is a James Bond problem. Mm-hmm. This James Bond problem has been there for years. Yeah. I hate when a character doesn't feel like doing anything. Yeah. Captain America is the only character that's new that I'm like, hell yeah, because he's like, I want to fight the bad guys. I want to get shit done. I hate when somebody doesn't want to fight. it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's like, well, then why are you
all
in
the Disney Plus shows, right?
They do it for all of them.
I don't want to fight you. I don't want to fight you. Yeah.
Even if Luke was in exile, why is Luke in exile? I don't know. It's stupid. Okay, but we're stuck with that now because JJ had that happen, right? So now you're making the next movie and JJ's forced you into certain story elements. So maybe he's exiled because he's working on some new weapon or something. Like, make something cool out of it, right? Like, oh, who are you? What are you doing here? It's like, oh, well, I'm working on this new, I don't know, new droid or something that's impervious or something, or I'm working on some new vehicle or some new X-Wing or something, or I'm upgrading, I'm building an army. Oh, that's why, I'm building this thing, or I found some new energy source that's going to make the lightsabers more destructive. I don't know. It's like, oh, I'm a loser. I don't want to do anything. Well, how did he get to that point? It's like, well, here's why. No, that's contrived. It's like, why did he really get to that point? And
their goal at the end of the day, though, isn't to provide entertainment. They're structurally tearing down and destroying stuff. They're rebooting. A lot of my friends have this theory for years, but they're rebooting without rebooting, right? Because what they're doing is they're changing everything around the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy to mold it into what they want to tell you that the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy are telling you they're about, even though they're not. Like, that's what I noticed with the Acolyte, because I was trying to attack it lore based. Like, hey, here's the Star Wars lore on this. Here's why this doesn't work. Here's why you can't time travel with a Disney Fast Pass from fucking Coruscant to the Outer Rim in 5
I don't know any of that stuff. I've heard I know Coruscant.
While I'm doing that, I'm noticing they did a lot of they did prequel trilogy and original trilogy bastardization, and then they did a lot of sequel trilogy and High Republic elevation up, right? So they had Suicide Jedi, right? He floats in the air exactly like who? Like Rey, right? That's to subliminally show people, hey, look, he floats like Rey did in episode 9, right? And you'll see a lot of that don't rewatch it because it's torture, but if you did, you would notice wow, look at all this stuff. And then they have the eyeball droid from Return of the Jedi, right? But this one has 2 eyes and a flap that goes over the top, so it's different. Haha. So that's a plagiarization thing where they change one little thing on it to say look at us, we're real smart, look what we just did.
Yeah, I think I don't like what all you got to do is aim high. This has happened in Star Trek. I don't know if you need to have a sister channel, which is DC Star Trek purist. Right. This is get the other two in there. The Doctor Who has been ruined beyond all recognition. I don't know. You're not all. I don't know who's Doctor Who people on here. I'm a Doctor Who purist, and Doctor Who is way worse. Can you hear the explosions out here? It's many. It's all Diwali stuff, I think, or whatever. But anyways, so they've ruined Doctor Who worse than Star Wars, than Star Trek, than any of these. Doctor Who has been ruined worse. I'll take the Acolyte over the last Doctor Who. That's how bad Doctor Who is. Doctor Who is unwatchably awful bad. But yeah, no, it's really bad. But the thing is, it's but it's not entertaining. It's they're not even making good product that doesn't fit. It's well, this doesn't fit Star Wars, but it was kind of cool. They're not even doing that. Everything is aiming low. Oh, the Doctor's a loser. He's crying now all the time. Same with Star Trek. It's everything is aiming low. It's nobody ever goes high. It's I just 7 of 9. I love 7 of 9. Now she's down and out, and her lover died, and her lesbian lover died, and now she's this thing. It's well, when she came back from Voyager, wouldn't she be in an institution teaching astrometrics? That's what her thing was. Aim high. I would say that she would have her own school or whatever. Everything is aiming low. Luke Skywalker would be really high up. He should be the highest Jedi, and he's replenished all the Jedi and training everybody. Everything is aiming low because they want to have this, it's going to be his journey again and his redemption arc. It's or why don't you just make him awesome immediately and then have a cool adventure and prop someone else up? Maybe he could train Ben Solo, and Ben Solo can be the new guy and he trains him. Here's the other thing. If a character is established and a new character comes in and hates that character in the eyes of the audience is not liked. That's a guaranteed standard. Even in that Last Jedi, what's the guy? Is it Poe? Poe was shown in the last movie to be decent. He's a decent guy, and he does stuff. And then in the next movie, even though I didn't care about Poe at all, but in the next movie, Laura Dern, Holdo, she's yelling at him and stuff, and I'm well, I thought this guy, but this is their own movies. I'm not comparing to the original
they can't
trilogy.
keep up with their own canon and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
The comics didn't depict that kind of character. Like in the comics leading up to The Last Jedi, Poe was cool. And then all of a sudden he's a chauvinist pig. And it's like,
you're right.
You said that the comics were canon to what is happening. Yeah.
No. That's right, Sean. You know, I remember because the comics looked.
I was
cool.
into that, and then I dropped it when the movie came out.
Of course,
Jedi came out.
So then pink hair lady, who we've never seen. See, if Princess Leia walks in and says, "Hey, Poe, Rey, you guys gotta watch yourselves," you're like, "Okay, well, Princess Leia knows what she's talking about." But this is a new character trumping. Not an old character, but a character that we have seen and is old, like, you know, he's in one movie. It's like, well, he was decent in this movie. Why is he an idiot now? And why is she yelling at him now?
You know, it's basically portrayed as your Wedge Antilles of this series.
This trilogy. And now go ahead. Steve.
Sorry. The filmmakers don't understand loyalty. They don't understand the loyalty of the viewer. The viewer is going to be loyal to whoever is emotionally connected with them on previous installments. And they're going to want to remain loyal to those characters for whatever reason that made them become loyal in the first place. They don't understand because they themselves are not loyal to their own characters. So they don't care, and they don't care about what the viewers are looking at. They just were like, you know, from a very like thought process, or like, well, what are we mad at today? Well, we're mad at men. Okay, so let's put in this Laura Dern character, and this will get, you know, the clickbaits from the internet and everything, who are like, because it was around that time with Me Too and stuff. Okay, cool. But I am loyal to Poe. I'm not loyal to Laura Dern because Poe has connected with me on the previous movie, in theory.
Right. He didn't for me, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So I'm just talking about the mechanics of storytelling. From a viewer perspective, I'm going to be loyal to whoever I've connected with previously. And if you do them dirty as a character, you're going to get my ire, because I'm just going to be like, that's not what I wanted. And as the consumer, because I'm usually the guy saying, as a consumer, I'm exercising my right. Just like with the Acolyte, I'm exercising my right as a consumer not to watch your crap movie or your crap series.
It was awesome. I lied. Awesome.
Yeah. Sure.
10 out of
10. So as a viewer, I'm exercising my right to be pissed off that you have done a character I like dirty. And They don't understand that because they themselves, I don't know, aren't loyal to anything. I don't know what it is, but it's
they think they could write in like Endgame. It calls the hammer. I like this one. So now everyone's supposed to like Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah.
And they did the same thing in the Jane Foster, Thor, Jason Aaron comics too, right? Where you have Thor saying how cool Jane Foster was as Thor, even though she fucking isn't. And it's just like Wolverine, right? Now they try to call X-20, they try to do it several times now. X-23 is Wolverine, and she never will be Wolverine, no matter if Wolverine tells you, or, you know, like the whole X-Men team, like nobody gives a shit. Like the reader and the viewer already know and make their decisions. They think they could just write it in though and make people like just, oh, okay, well, if that's the case, I guess we'll go with that. Which is not how it works. Or they try to say this is this new big bad, and they're going to be this big bad, because that's not how it works, right? Like Chris Claremont didn't create or Louis Simonson and Walt Simonson, they didn't create Apocalypse and say he's going to be this big ass film. No, they just made Apocalypse. They made the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse. Readers dug it, and they got all fucking into it, and then he became a very popular character over time. Not by
we chose them.
Yeah, I'm the writer. This is going to be the big bad villain now, you know?
There's 400. So Sean and I have been doing, as you know, we did Fantastic Four. It's done now. Now we're doing thing. And it's surprising because you're reading Fantastic Four and reading it now. We did the first 102 issues plus the Kirby annuals. You're like, wow, look at all these awesome characters. No. But at that time, they were just, this guy for this month.
Yep.
Then they start getting letters like, hey, we like this Dr. Doom fellow. Oh, he's very popular. Let's put Dr. Doom in again. Oh, this who, I don't know, Skrulls are popular. Let's put the Skrulls a bit more times, right? That's how you don't just say, like, here's the Skrulls, they're the best and you better like them. It's like, well, what if I don't like them? It's like wrestling. So Steve and I are wrestling guys. We do wrestling stuff. Same thing. And it used to be like, Hogan was the big face. If someone teamed up with Hogan, you knew that they were a face, and that's how you propped them up. You didn't bring in Ultimate Warrior and then make Hulk Hogan look like an idiot and a complete moron to try to push Ultimate Warrior. First, you had him be good and have win matches and be good. Then he's Hogan's friend, right? Then Hogan passes the torch. It's like a year in the making of constant matches before WrestleMania 6 for Warrior to then say, okay, I'm now taking over as the big face of the company or whatever.
Yeah.
This is how wrestling works because they understood how storylines work. Same thing. Yeah. Same with Ray. I don't hate Ray. Ray is not a character. There's nothing to hate about her. She's not a character. She showed up. She has no crutch. Everything's great. It's like, okay, let's say she's really good with the Force. Okay, she's really good with the Force. So give her something else. Maybe her balance is garbage. She can't fight. She can't do anything. She picks up a lightsaber and immediately burns her jacket off or something. And she's like she's clumsy and oafish. And it's like, I could use the Force, but I'm so clumsy. It's like, oh God, this is a disaster. Like, Luke might be like, wow, she's got the best Force abilities ever, but she's so clumsy and stupid. What am I gonna, how am I gonna work with her? You know what I mean? Like, give her something, like something. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but something to work with in this character. Like, and then Kylo Ren, when he smashed that control panel, I was like, but don't they need that control panel? I said this in the theater, and I think I was sitting next to Sean. I was like, don't they need the control panel? Like, didn't he fuck the ship up? Like, how are they gonna fly this? He's like, he's smashing up. And then here's the other thing: he's wearing Darth Vader's or he loves Darth Vader. Yeah, but Darth Vader turned good at it. This is again, I'm a wrestling guy. It goes back to wrestling. It's like, but Vader turned face.
Story. Yeah,
Vader turned face. So why are you growing up admiring Vader when he was a heel? The last thing he did was become face and help fight the Emperor. So technically he's a good. So why? It's like, my favorite Sean is the Sean that I don't know when he was like a punk kid like 20 years ago. It's like, why would I care about that Sean? Like, it's just so randomly stupid. Like, no one thought this through like, at all.
But Darth Vader turned good in that one room that no one saw, and then
but Luke's training Ben. And Han is there.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you talking about? They would be telling him, right? They'd be like, oh man, your grandfather, he's fucking great, man. He turned good and we fucking nailed the Emperor. It was awesome. And then he waited a little bit too long. For dramatic effect, he waited a bit long.
It just doesn't fit because it's contrived.
It's contrived.
But it doesn't it literally was like, if he's just going to emulate Vader as a villain, then why did Vader even turn face at the end? Why did he even make that sacrifice? What was the point if his grandson is just going to go back to what was the point?
Yeah, that's bad.
Well, is J.J. Abrams just copying?
Because they have to make Rey the chosen one.
Yeah,
Rey needs to be the chosen one.
Yeah.
And again, it's not knowing how to write female character, right? So they're like, this is a woman, so she's got to be like a man, right? Like it's the same thing you were saying about with child actors, like, they don't write them as characters, they write them as children, right? It's the same thing. This is strong woman, and that's the thing. Like, I love Chris Claremont, obviously X-Men's probably my favorite, out of all Marvel comics. But he knew how to write women, right? And he also played off like Louise Simonson was his editor for the most part, there's time before that, a little bit before that, but so he bounced ideas off her or got her input, and he wasn't just like, it's my character, I'm writing it, like they kind of worked as a team. And he made interesting characters that were different. He didn't make a lot of retreads. I think there's a couple, but for the most part, they were all unique, new characters. Because I hate mantles. Like, I don't believe in any of that. Like, even a lot of people love like the Bat family and stuff. For me, I could I watched that Arrow show, and I'm not normie on DC, but I mean, obviously, it's not my strong. I think I've read more Image than DC. But like when I watched the Arrow show, I was kind of into it. Like, it was a little soapy, right? But right when you get to Team Arrow, everyone's an Arrow, and now it's like you destroyed the whole first season where he went through all this punishment and torture and shit to become the Green Arrow, and now anyone can be a fucking Arrow. So like,
I don't like that either. I don't like Team Flash.
Means nothing. Team Flash.
Like, what do you mean Team Flash? Like,
now you're a Captain America. They did the Bucky, the Bucky arc in the mid 2000s, Brubaker, right? Like, that was interesting the way they did it, right? But at the end of the day, I don't really want that retread character either. I think it's just lazy.
Yeah, but comic people keep. I'll say this. We're going to end it up. The people keep saying it happened in the comics. Yeah, but comics come out on a monthly basis, and there's many of them. So yes, Superman's going to be electric blue for a while. Lois Lane now has some powers, so she's going to have powers for a year, then they'll just put her back. Like, this is what comics do. But when you're talking about a film where it's going to encompass the whole character, you have to pick the main character traits and the main story arcs that built that character. And people keep saying, and they don't like. I'm not a big fan of Miles Morales, and I really don't like those two Spider-Verse movies. I'm in the super minority on that one, I know, but
I never even saw the second one.
Yeah. Oh, it's boring. It's boring. Thanks, man.
Yellow O'Hara, I knew. So, and I don't like Elseworld stuff that much either. I don't really like time traveling in a vacuum, right? Like Cable's a time traveling character, not time traveling that destroys the whole fucking universe or like universes. I'm not into that. But yeah, like 2099, we all knew growing up, like 2099 is like Elseworlds, basically, at least in my opinion, that's what I always thought. Like, you weren't like, hey, one day the comic arc's going to get to this when it becomes 2099, right? Like, right. Knew.
Yeah, that was never going to happen. And I don't really like that stuff either. But like, I mean, I can read it and just read it in a vacuum and be like, oh, that was kind of cool. But like, even for Robin, like I thought Dick Grayson would grow up to be Robin, like a grown up Robin, like Earth 2 Robin. And then they pass it on. And that's why I think some people are getting angry at some of these mantles, but the mantles are already there. So like, I would just be like, Dick Grayson is Robin, and that's it. Like he is like Robin.
Falcon is Falcon.
Falcon is Falcon.
That's cool as Falcon.
He was cool as Falcon.
People
actually
obviously like the character of Falcon, but they don't
for sure.
Captain America.
I thought Falcon. Well, I thought Falcon was great in the comics for sure, and I thought he was super cool in the movies. I like that Anthony Mackie. I like that actor. Mm-hmm. I saw him in interviews, and he seemed super. I was super pumped, and I was like, "Oh, wait till he gets the red," and I thought this is going to be sick. And then he made him Captain America. So again, this is the whole thing. I didn't even get a proper Falcon and a proper Captain America really fighting together and doing stuff. And I don't understand why. Like, where's that? And I hate like the Batman where it's like, oh, it's his first year or second year. Okay, let's make it year 5 so I can have the normal Batman being a ninja. Right. I don't want Batman who knocks on the door, because Adam West didn't knock on doors. He went up the side of the building because even he knew that, you don't knock on the fucking front door of the Penguin's hideout. Like, it's the stupidest shit ever. Anyways, but yeah, I did pre-order the Batman and Robin Batmobile though today. From McFarlane Toys. It's got the little spinny thing in it. It's the best.
So what are your thoughts? It's controversial, I'm sure. What are your thoughts on Man of Steel? Because
sucks.
You think it sucks?
Yeah,
see, I like the movie. I like the world building on Krypton. I don't like the Pa Kent stuff because it's brutal. The way he dies in the comics is like that's the thing, the uncontrollable thing that Superman can't like control. So I didn't like that, but I didn't mind like a lot of the others, like the Zod killing Zod thing. Like to me, it justified. It's kind of like day one Superman, right? Like
I liked it when I saw it
because he doesn't know what he's doing, right? Like he's been on Earth for this long, but he hasn't been, he's not trained to fight a Kryptonian that was bred for combat or whatever. Like I feel like the rules that were set made sense.
Yeah, and then they quickly killed them after that, though. Like after that, Man of Steel, I was okay. When I first saw it, I thought it was awesome. I loved it. I was like, this is the best ever. But I went to see all the Superman movies in the theater from Superman 3 and on. And then when I saw the Brandon Routh one, I was like, this is so boring and garbage. What the heck? And then I was like, okay, this Man of Steel at least had action in it. So then I liked it, but then I watched it again. I was like, oh boy. And then I'm like, there's like a tornado. Surely Superman can go fast enough and rescue his dad. Like the first movie was perfect. He had a heart attack, and that's something you can't stop. Like he had a heart attack and died. It's like nobody can stop that. And it's like even with those powers, I couldn't save him. That was brilliant.
Like I wanted to see Man of Steel too because Brainiac was supposed to be the fucking villain.
Right.
Brainiac growing up, right?
It's like we're never getting that character.
The silver Brainiac with the freaking.
I like the silver one too.
Like I had that one, dude. I was like, oh,
I still have that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. He's missing an arm, I think, but
mine was missing a leg. Mine is missing a leg. That's weird. We can combine our two and then have the full character. Okay, but we'll have to do a thing on the DC, because like my two favorite DCEU movies are Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984. And then the other one, I like the two Aquamans. The rest are like, they're okay.
I like Wonder Woman. I don't like the third act, but I like Wonder Woman. I think I like because I like the World War I shit, right? You see World War II like all the time. Now World War One's becoming more
of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
RR likes Man of Steel. We're not getting into this. If Clobby was here, he would be there's more right than wrong with it. Podcast.
Yeah, I like the wire work. Like, I like the woman that played what's her name, dude? I don't know the name, dude, but she like worked out and she was like doing shit.
Oh like, yeah, Feora.
CGI in her muscles and stuff like that. Like
Feora was good. Was good.
Like, yeah,
she's the best character in that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So make sure you're subscribed to Purist. I put his links. His links are all in the chat, and they're also in the thing. So, John, anything? What's going on? You got anything on the website coming up?
Like I said, I just moved, so everything's kind of in disarray. I haven't done my podcast in like a month, but I'm hoping to start up again next week, and just come back and just force myself to do it. So awesome.
So, Purist, what have you got going on?
So my flagship, my whole idea for my YouTube channel is show pure unadulterated Star Wars and pure unadulterated Marvel. I haven't started the Marvel one because I'm trying to put together a cinematic, because I did for the Star Wars one where it's the Duel of the Fates, with the voiceovers and stuff with Yoda and everybody in the background. And but I took all kinds of different Star Wars clips from video games, even that SCH-38 one where they recreate the Death Star scene between Obi-Wan and Vader, KOTOR. So I did all these clips. Anyway, so I'm on episode 7 of that. It's going to be next Saturday. We're doing Vector Prime, the first book of the new Jedi Order series. And it's going to be my first time having 3 guests on, which is probably going to be my max, because when you're like deep diving into a book, you don't want to have like a panel of 10 people doing it.
Right.
So that probably will be 2 hours, and it usually takes, like, we did the Darth Plagueis book was like this first one I started with, and that took 3 sessions because that's like a super lore heavy book. But we did like the Kenobi book in 2, so it'll probably be 2 episodes of that. And then I'm planning on starting my Marvel one, probably Hell or High Water, on November 18th, which is my normal streaming times, like on Monday nights. And that's going to be on the Rick Remender Uncanny X-Force. My buddy Blake's going to come on, and we're probably going to chop that one into like 3 episodes as well, because there's a couple, like 3 major story arcs in that run. But yeah, those are my main 2 things coming up. And then otherwise I just stream on Mondays, and I cut and heavily edit stuff off my live streams and add visual stuff and all that and make videos. And I'm super behind on, I probably could make about 30 videos right now that I haven't made yet. So
yeah, I don't do anything. I'm streaming at whatever this is. I'm done. I'm never going back to this ever.
Yeah.
Can't be bothered. Steve, I know is your book out yet for print? The print copies yet?
My book is now out in paperback, hardcover, and ebook. So I'm done. I'm going to go get drunk now because it took so long to get this one out. No, I'm going to do some advertising on now, and then just writing the next one.
Awesome. Sean, what's going on? 2 videos a day, or is that done?
Down to 1 video a day now. And
that's it.
Yeah.
He's getting old.
Yeah, new comic reviews. Well, it's a busy time right now at work.
Right.
So
I watched your G.I. Joe Compendium video.
Oh, that was badass.
I got the Kickstarter, so I'm going to be getting the hardback one.
See, I told you there was this Kickstarter thing on that, man.
It's a hardback thing, but like the paperback thing, I like it because it's light, and I like the newsprint of it. It's pretty cool. It's a cube, basically. It's
a cube. Yeah. Nobody can read.
Well,
that.
I'm a G.I. Joe fanatic, so I needed. I want. And plus, they reached all their stretch goals, so there's a whole bunch of shit that they're
on it. Yeah, that's cool. There's 3 more compendiums coming, and they're gonna have like special missions.
There's 4 altogether for 50. Yeah, 50 a piece. So there's 150 issues. Yeah,
it's cool. Anyway, just new comic reviews and some classic stuff as well. Coming up in the next week or so. So
awesome. I'm doing whatever I'm doing. That's it. Wonder Woman stuff every Wednesday. Blake 7 for a little bit, and then Prisoner, and then after Prisoner, I'll probably do Battlestar Galactica. We got Legion Mondays. Friday's going to be Earth's Mightiest Fridays. That's it. All right, guys. Thanks to the panel. Thanks everybody in the chat. Well, hopefully we'll see you on Monday.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.